Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to The World's Gone Insane. Let's talk about it. Joining me is Zam with a Cheeto thumbnail, and
Sorry.
Princess is here. And it's, Friday. The weather outside is absolute wank. I caught a cold because yesterday I had to attend an event and I had to walk half a mile because there was no bloody parking. Because in the UK, we hate cars, we don't put any parking for them anywhere. And so I walked, and because I could barely walk, it took me forever and I got absolutely drenched. And now I have a cold. So,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
minus 20 here.
good God, that's too much. That's that. Hey, TLD, that's too cold. That's too.
But
Look,
I'm
it's so
sorry.
cold.
I'm,
Zam's hair's frosted.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm
I love
sorry
I love my
about
wig, man.
your walk. I remember driving somewhere in the UK to find a spot, and we actually were further away from where we were trying to go when we found one.
Yeah, they don't like, and now it's even worse because now like a council will build flats, but they won't allocate parking anymore. They're just like, we don't care about that. We're trying to get rid of cars in London. It's just like, okay, then don't make the trains and the buses cost an arm and a leg to use. Then you can't attack everything. Like, see, the thing with this country is it's all capitalist, so they'll find a way to punish you in a way that benefits
Yeah,
them.
because
They won't help
it
you
only
anyway.
hurts the working class because the rich
Everything,
people have
yeah,
parking.
everything they do hurts the working class. Every implementation that goes against cars is to basically get more revenue from the working class and the poor. That's it. Because if a rich person gets a parking ticket, it's £65. To a rich person, that's nothing. To a poor person, that's them fucked. Completely fucked. So
I want
I
I
want,
want
yeah, go on, Sam.
regarding that parking ticket thing. A friend of mine, his brother was a barrister, and his brother worked in this firm, and his boss was getting parking tickets all the fucking time, and he would just give it to his secretary and say deal with it. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
didn't mean shit to them. You
yeah.
know what I mean? It doesn't mean shit to these people who've got lots of fucking money.
It's
Just
equivalent of
deal
paying
with it.
65p to them.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
nothing.
exactly.
It's nothing.
Yeah,
TLD. Well, I
quality
mean,
comment.
yes, it is the best
Yes, we
comment
know, we
ever.
get it. By the way, yeah.
We get what you mean, and yes, he has your vote now, right? Because he gave you people sneakers, and I mean you people, because you people like sneakers, so therefore you're going to now vote for Trump. Christian, if you don't know
Yeah.
what we're talking about,
Oh, I do.
Fox. Oh, you do.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
the
Fox
sneakers aren't
News.
even made, and there's no guarantee they're even going to ship or make them. So
Yeah, it's
Well,
just
they made
another
like 400 pairs, haven't they, or something like that?
something like that. Yeah,
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 but
people.
they've
Yeah,
sold 32,000. You know.
I could. Yeah, I was
you're going to sell out.
demoralized and gobsmacked that these sneakers these trainers they sold out. I was like, you fucking morons! Do you ever learn? You know, and
Yeah.
and
Look at
and
that fucking hair, man.
and on top of that, like those hats, those MAGA hats, this shit is probably made in fucking China. You know, the country they like
Oh,
to
it is. Yeah,
criticize all the fucking time. Yeah.
yeah. 100%. I'll tell you what, as well. They you walk around with that red hat and those trainers, you are swag as fuck. The only thing they need to do now is put a Confederate flag um uh, sleeveless
What
jacket. What do
shirt?
they call those?
Oh,
Waist
wife beater.
jacket.
Wife beater?
No. The kind of waist jacket that they wear on like a suit, but they don't wear a suit with it. It's just like, a
A
waist jacket.
waistcoat.
Doesn't have sleeves.
Vest.
Waistcoat. Yeah, waistcoat.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Rick. And yeah, Confederate flag waistcoat and I don't know, fucking chinos.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, but I think a wife beater with a Confederate flag on it instead of it being white with dribble on it like just have a Confederate flag with dribble and food particles on it. I think that'd be better.
Sounds good to me. No arguments here. You know, it's that's swag on another level.
There was
you-
this thing I saw on TikTok regarding those trainers though, because Trump, he likes to go to court more often than fucking John McEnroe, and he's going to be going to fucking court again because his shoes are, the bottom of those trainers are red from top, from all the way, and unfortunately for Trump, the copyright for a red sole, I mean, it is owned by another shoe company called Delboit or something like that. Delboit, or I can't remember the exact name, but I saw this article on this, and so Trump doesn't own the right to do this. So he's going to be taken to court probably again by this other shoe company who has the copyright, who has the ownership of having an entire red sole at the bottom of the shoe. Now, if Trump decided to put one black dot,
that Louboutin has the red sole.
Yeah. So if Trump put like a black dot on there, fine, no problem. But the fact that the whole sole is red means that he's going to probably go to court again.
And he loves.
And I know this because I have so many
copyright.
fucking female friends that are into fashion that I know what a Louboutin is.
Yeah. No, he loves to sue people for copyright all the time.
Yeah.
I
gotta shut my door.
I mean, so often he will use songs that were made by the left, anti-war songs and stuff like that. And we're not gonna take it anymore. That song, and he's using songs like that.
Whatever they call them.
Yeah, Judas Priest, like that song is about you literally, and people like you.
And I mean, they use songs like from Rage Against the Machine. I remember once when Glenn Beck was on Fox News. Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, they use songs by them as well, and the Rage Against the Machine band are really pissed off with that. And Glenn Beck once got really pissed off with a Bruce Springsteen song of Born in the USA because he instead of just singing along to the chorus, he was reading the entire lyrics of the song and how anti-American that fucking song is, but it's mocking America. And he got really pissed off like 20 years later after that fucking song came out, the dickhead. So they're very slow.
Rick, I love them.
About American Woman. Don't read those lyrics.
Exactly.
Well,
they're right up my alley, mate.
They're supposed to represent Trump because his face is golden and he likes to hug the red, white, and blue. So it's like, Trump hugging a flag.
And his face is red when he goes up a flight of stairs. So that's why the soul are red.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And no, I don't have to. I mean, Ginger might admit that I think they're atrocious.
Oh, mate, listen. If they were like $100 or something, I'd get them. Get them because it's a collector's item. Totally worth it. They're tacky as hell. Right up my alley. I am the king.
If you look a collector's item, that's something you can put on your mantelpiece and maybe sell before you die. And fine, fair enough. But actually wear that shit, they're gonna fall apart within a week.
No. You don't wear those. I have a pair of Nike Air Force Ones because it's the only fucking trainers that actually fit me perfectly. In the style of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles / De La Soul. My friend got me these from France when I house sat for him and looked after his pets and all this kind of stuff. And he got them for me as a gift. I didn't expect that. They cost £130, which was incredible. And my dad took them out the box and threw the box away, which really pissed me off. I've never yelled at my dad so much because the sentimental value of them alone. Why
are you complaining? It's just a box, son, and all that sort of
stuff. He's just like, just a box.
Don't get
it. I told you 300 fucking times, do not touch the box on these trainers. Do not. And you did it. Why? Because you're Greek, you're stubborn, and you don't listen. Yeah. And but I put them in another Nike box and they're nicely preserved. Let me Rick, they're downstairs, but I'll see if I can find them on here.
My dad was dog sitting for me when my last dog, and all I said to my dad was, "Dad, I don't care what the dog does in the house, But see, I only have 10 comic books. Literally, this is about comic books for me. Those comic books are the only things she cannot touch or chew on or dribble on. I don't care if she breaks the TV, nothing. I don't care. But these 10 comic books. So I come home, 2 of the comic books are chewed up.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't fucking listen. Like, it doesn't matter.
Damn it. That is annoying.
By the way, this stream is sponsored by Nobbly Bobbly. I forgot to eat this, so I'm eating this now. It's an ice cream.
Here we
I was
go.
wondering.
Retro ice cream.
Oh, retro. Yeah, Nobbly Bobbly. I can't see your screen. Let me see.
Hold on, sorry, one second. I
yes.
put up on the screen earlier. There we go, Nobbly Bobbly.
Woo! Look how much these babies are worth.
Look at that. Oh boy.
All right, here we go. Yeah, all right. I'll put this site up because I could do 360 degree. They were De La Soul, not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I keep thinking they were Teenage Mutant Ninja, but it was De La Soul. So apologies for that. But this is them. And it's this design. So there's like that graffiti in the middle that I absolutely love. But I call them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because there's like a shell bit,
green,
just the front and the green and all this. But yeah, I mean, look at them. Like, they're worth like $2,000, man. People are paying like $2,000. Now here they're 450, but in the States they're paying like $2,000 for them. And this is the
high top.
Yeah, the high. I love the high top ones.
Look, I bought some new trainers. You know, I got a brown pair next to my sword, and I got a black pair underneath my bed that I use for going my treadmill on. And I didn't spend fuck all on them. Like maybe 10, 15 quid each. 10 quid on the black ones and maybe 15 quid on the brown one. And they're very good and I like them.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't bought a pair of Nike since 2016. And because they literally went from £75 to £90. They just jacked up the price 15 quid. No fucking reason. And Nike, like I have my issues with Nike as it is anyway, but I need their trainers because the other one fits. But I've got so many stocked up that I ain't going to be running out anytime soon. The 2 pair that I wear now are 10 years old. They're on their last legs, but I still just fucking wear them because they're so goddamn comfortable. Because I've got weird feet.
I used to wear New Balance when I was running, and even bought New Balance for comfort because they didn't use sweatshops.
Yeah, well,
and they also, you know how they design running shoes? They get a male group of men and design around the male structure of your foot and blah. And we're not too different, men and women, but there's a subtle difference. And I was a runner. I was doing half marathons. So I wanted a shoe that was actually tested and designed for women's feet as well.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Rather than just a design and then it's put to a factory. Goes through a rigorous New Balance, you know, they're a great all-round shoe, comfortable, and I think their factories are in they're in the States.
I think so. At least they were at one time. I didn't know that they didn't have sweatshops when I bought them.
Yeah, they're still not the most ethical company because they're massively anti-union, but insert American company here that isn't anti-union, so that's not really a bar that can be measured on a company. They might still do other good stuff.
And any capitalist, any company is capitalistic. You're never going to get the perfect company. You get close sometimes, but I was trying to get as close as possible for a sneaker that actually worked to protect my feet and my body because my bone structure and muscles, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, a company's always going to do what it can to maximize profits. It's up to the people you vote to put these wankers in line. So, you know, you can't. It's like when people say, "Oh, you hate the system, yet you have an iPhone." It's like, yes, motherfucker, but in my system, those iPhones will be made in a factory where people aren't trying to kill themselves or working themselves to death, and the materials aren't being mined by corporations destabilizing countries like the Congo, which is suffering a huge genocide as well, but nobody's fucking talking about that.
Right.
That's the difference.
And
It's not that I don't want these companies to exist. It's I have no choice. I have no choice. The limit of ethical companies that I can use is so small when conglomerates are monopolizing everything. You think I want to fucking give my money to Nike, for example? No, but I'm in a pickle because my feet suck. And the UK, I've got to say, the UK, the thing I like about America is not just a size. You don't just get a size 9 shoe. You get width as well. And the UK does not do that. I don't know. In fact, anywhere in Europe does not fucking do that. It boggles
Wide
the mind.
shoes.
Oh.
Wide shoes.
Yeah, you have to
You have
go
to get
online and look for them.
diabetic ones and pay through the nose for them. I'm not fucking wearing diabetic shoes. Look like
About
old
about
fart.
the phone, before we move on, about the phones. Not only we can't live without them, but we can also use them to spread the word, to stop other atrocities, and help further society by spreading the word using that tool. Just like in France, the peasants were given tools to get the fruit and get the crops out of the ground, but those same tools that they were given by their masters were used later to overthrow and kill them. So
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
who cares?
Exactly. I send people dick pics and give them a heart attack. That's how I beat the system. You know, everyone's got to do their bit. So yeah. Alrighty. So let me see. Where shall I start? Let's start off with a CEO of a paper company had a complete meltdown over some bird on. You know what? I'll just let her talk. We're gonna watch a couple of TikTok videos here because
Nah,
this
bloody.
person just destroyed themselves because of their weird incel ego. Bear in mind they're a CEO of a company, so because I hope this
Well,
is
they
the
probably
right
like to swallow their own farts then.
one. Oh, for sure. Right. Put that to the beginning. Fuck off. Don't want to log in. I don't have a TikTok account.
I posted a video yesterday of my dad
Can you hear
cooking
that?
me with these Hexclad pans.
Yeah, put louder.
A comment on there where the person goes, "Must be tough living a life on easy mode." I also didn't think the comment was rude at first, so I responded with, "Lucky to have parents who make it possible." And they responded, "Yeah, we get it. You have no skills and family money." And at that point, I'm just like, okay, what the hell? Like, maybe this account is hacked, because from a business account, that seems kind of weird. So I send them an email and I'm like, hey, like, I think somebody's on your business account, like, leaving cyberbullying comments. Didn't say anything else. That was it. And then I get an email from the CEO of parchmentpaper.com, and he says, "I don't consider stating factual information cyberbullying. If you're offended over a comment about having no skill set while getting to frolic through life with family money is bullying, I'd call the cyber bully police, delete the comment, and move along. Cheers." Brandon Howard. How sweet of you to include founder and CEO in all of your information, actually. Thank you for letting me know that I get to frolic through life. Considering my parents literally grew up in mud huts, worked their ass off to get out of India, get us here, and get me into the position that I am and able to have a full-time job and a side career. Then he goes back to the page and goes, "Cyberbullying is even more funny. And the fact that you email us to tell us is actually hilarious. Enjoy frolicking through life and leave the rest up to us adults who create actual economic value without a trust." I can't know whether to laugh or to be angry at this point, because just by the name Brandon Howard, I can tell what kind of person this is and what kind of they have. So to sit there and tell me to be frolicking through life when you as a CEO have enough time to do this, it just bothers me that these are the people in power. These are the actual people with money, and this is how their mentality works. The fact that you're leaving these comments tells me you're really miserable. And as an adult, I hope you seek the help that you need to find that happiness. Just grow up, dude. Like,
And he
Sorry.
missed the part where she was trying to be helpful. She was concerned for him and thought, hey, I'll tell him that I think you've been hacked. And he's like, "Oh, you're just calling this, you're so woke. You're calling the bully police on me because you think I did bad." No, I thought I was trying to help you. You don't even get that. You're so dumb.
Exactly.
Damn
I've got
right,
two more
guys.
videos. I just want to see. I
I
can't
need
remember
to
which
do
order.
everything, man.
Let me see. Is this the second one? I think this second one. This one's short, so right. It just carries on. He just digs himself into a deeper fucking hole. Let's see. I've never asked anyone or made any fake. Right, I think it's this one. All right, let me go expand that. Yeah.
You'll have to read that out because
Huh?
you'll have to read that out for me. It's too small.
Oh, I think she does. If not, I'll read it out.
It's 13 seconds.
No, she doesn't read it out. So I'll read it out. So this is what he sent after like there was a bit of pushback. And so he just posted this on his Instagram because all you fucking losers need to stop messaging us about a fake TikTok account made by Dine in Toronto and her dumbass minions because her fragile little ego couldn't handle a couple of smart ass comments on IG about skill set and money. I've never had that commie bullshit app TikTok in my entire life. And tell that little midget bubble head Dinesh guy to get off my nuts. Fucking losers, I swear. It's been 2 weeks almost and still have to deal with this childish bullshit. She is too mature to settle this privately. And I'm going to let someone I'm not going to let some woke hate mob ruin my reputation because they live in some mystical fairyland of make-believe. They think because they have 20,000 followers, they're doing something in life. I mean, this is a CEO of a company, and this is how they react.
It doesn't
They have too
matter
much time
how
on their
many.
hands.
Oh, fuck, I just
Doesn't
muted
matter
you.
how, it doesn't matter how many followers she has. She was just telling the facts and the truth, and he didn't like it. And the whole first paragraph there was projection, pure projection.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, she didn't make this public at first. He just carried on. She's read the comment, replied to that comment, then he replied, then she sent like an email, and then he fucking just escalated it after that. And it's just like, all right, you know what? Fuck you, dude. I'm gonna bring it to
why
attention.
didn't you keep it private? You didn't have to bring it public. You did
made
it
public. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone can read your comment. Fucking idiot. Right. So, this is the last video. It's just a minute long. So, yeah.
I have honestly never had to deal with somebody like this in my whole entire life. You made fun of me for living life on easy mode and my influencer life, whatever you think that I'm doing. But you want attention so freaking bad because you will not stop talking about this. You are basically the only one who is still talking about this at this point. Since my initial email to you where I thought your company was hacked, I have not tried to contact you. At first, you were laughing and sipping Mai Tais on the beach, and then you were having crybaby sales because this was drawing you so much attention, and now you are so upset at the hate mob that's coming. After you realized that your fake legal letters were not working, you thought it would be a smart idea to reach out to my boss at the agency that I work for and ask him to remediate the situation for you. You thought you could tell the boss to tell me to delete my videos. Just because you involved your business by commenting from your business profile does not mean that you get to include my place of work. When all of this failed, you thought it would be a great idea to send me one more email stating that you will deal with it as you see fit, whatever the hell that means. And then you decided to add this banner to your website. I'm sure you think that this banner is actually insulting me, but really, it's just keeping people away from your website. If you stopped and just apologized, this whole thing could have gone away. But you continue to talk about it, you continue to make stories about it, and you continually want the attention. As if all of this was not enough, you decided that you were going to start making all of your stories on your Black Label Paper account involving your other company now for no apparent reason. Take down another company, why don't you? Sure what your end game here is, and I'm not even sure that you know what your end game here is, but in your own words, I don't have time to bicker back and forth about some nonsense comments, nor is it my problem that you're offended over them.
Yeah,
And
so
he's like he's probably a cancel culture name caller, like you're cancel culturing me. Yet clearly he wants to cancel culture. He just did it there by trying to get her boss involved.
Yeah, and he tried to send her a cease and desist letter, which she laughed out of the
Yeah.
building because it was badly written. It wasn't even by the lawyers. It was like some. It was just a cut and paste bog standard cease and desist letter, which he didn't bother to edit. And you know, it doesn't matter if she sounds annoying, mate. You know, she was just targeted by a CEO incel. You know, it's just.
She's allowed to sound annoying. She's every right to her feelings. Some asshole out of nowhere came into her life and said, because I'm the man here, I've decided how you live your life without knowing you. I'm going to tell you how and what to do and what to say and when to shut up. So, yeah, she can sound a little annoyed.
Yeah, the dude probably just has no friends either. And I'd be surprised if there's more than 2 people that work at his bloody company. Absolute fucking I just found that hilarious. Like the guy just kept continually digging his grave. Okay, moving on.
Can I do the next one?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
All right. So I'm going to read this little article here, which I want to bring up.
I agree, TLD.
It's so I just want to quickly go to the comments here. If you're looking for an ethical phone, have you considered the Fairphone Dutch social enterprise? Is there a joke there I'm unaware of? In fairness, she sounds annoying. Well, of course she does to you, dude.
That one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she sounds annoyed because she's been annoyed. So.
Yeah, don't worry. Rick will always side with the arseholes. This is why this CEO needs to get someone to check in before he speaks. Maybe he wants to go broke. Well, you know, he's probably a fucking Nepo baby as well. So nothing worth bragging about. You never know with these privileged arseholes.
Well, you brought this up, and I thought I think it perfectly segues into this because, as you know, Donald Trump has been fined $350 million, for court case, all of that shit. Everyone knows, and Kid Rock is not going to take it anymore because Kid Rock has a I'm going to read this article, has a tour, and that tour, if I just remind myself, is called "You Can't Cancel America" tour. But in protest of Donald Trump, Kid Rock has now cancelled his performances in New York for what they did to Donald Trump. So the people who attend this, who are probably Trump supporters as well, you are now fucking them over because you want to get one back at the city. Well done, Kid Rock. You've actually now fucked over your own fucking supporters, but what do you expect, right wingers? So performers Kid Rock and Jason Aldean removed all New York shows from their "You Can't Cancel America" tour in support of former President Donald Trump. App's assessment, false. The claim originated on September. Oh, so it's not real. Oh, is it? There's no such tour. Oh, okay, my bad. I apologize.
But it sounds real. Like that's something he would do. That's the sad part.
Damn, even I fell for this. Fuck, I'm pissed off. Following in order in New York requiring the former President Donald Trump. But hold on. There's so many articles on this.
Yeah, so it was probably one of those stupid AI articles that people keep falling for lately. It happens, mate. You know what I mean?
Even I fell for it. Damn, I'm really upset with myself because there's tons of articles on this, and I just picked this for a random one. Okay, all right, fair enough. I take it back.
Daniel Vance, CPAC started today and nobody showed up. Well, I mean, I'm not fucking surprised though. Even Republicans don't want fuck all to do with with these nut jobs. But I'll tell you who did show up. The glorious Liz Truss, the greatest prime minister. I've never seen a woman fuck something this hard since Maggie Thatcher was in power. And I've watched a lot of fucking porno in my time. But Liz Truss did the libertarian wet dream of absolutely destroying the British economy in just fucking 90 days of her being in power. And the minute she did that, somebody then posted a picture of, had a webcam of lettuce to see who lasts longer, Liz Truss or the lettuce, and the lettuce fucking won. But she is going to these big far right conventions, and she is a walking cliche for all the far right talking points. Woke this, deep state that, anything you can think of that the buzzwords that the right uses, that's Liz Truss.
The copy
That's
of the
all
American textbook for sure.
she I mean, the American as soon as Corbyn came in, American money flooded into the UK with Steve Bannon and his lot to get Corbyn out. And people like Liz Truss are the fucking result of that. People like Nigel Farage sticking around the Reform Party, all this kind of shit, they're the result of this. And because they're so scared of having to pay a little bit of extra tax. So I'm not going to post the article because fuck her, but you can see it if you just type in CPAC.
I saw her grandstanding on stage, and the one thing I know about Liz Truss, apart from having a great rack, is that she sounds like she has a fucking cold every time she speaks. She sounds like her nose is bunged up, and that she needs to take some Rennie or a couple of paracetamols to clear her fucking airwaves. Yeah, it could be. She could be.
Yeah,
but she stands for nothing. She was a liberal Democrat not too long ago, wanting to abolish the fucking monarchy, and she probably did because she was the last prime minister to see the Queen alive. So a lot of people are saying that she did fucking kill Elizabeth Windsor. Obviously, they say that tongue in cheek.
She just looked at the economics of Liz Truss, and I was like, "That's it, I'm out. Fuck this, Charles, all yours, man."
It's been 80 years, but I'm out. Philip, I'm coming.
I mean, you're not wrong, Vance. We all sound like.
Don't say that, Daniel. But no, I don't want to sound like I need to fucking blow my nose all the fucking time. Don't say that.
Yeah. So speaking of corrupt American sacks of shit, we're gonna switch over to John Oliver. He's not the corrupt one, obviously.
Oh no, I know. This is a beautiful fucking segment. If you're going on to the one that I'm thinking of.
So, last week tonight, John Oliver returns to HBO and offers to pay Clarence Thomas $1 million a year to get the fuck off the Supreme Court. Yeah. So on season 11 premiere of the Late Night Talk Show, Oliver discussed the U.S. Supreme Court, saying that it reached a breaking point, citing several ways it could be fixed, like enforceable ethics code to term limits to potentially expanding the court. Oliver had previously noted that Thomas had not recused himself from taking on cases where there was a conflict of interest or where they may receive gifts from special interest groups. Of course he wouldn't. Why would he recuse himself? That's why he's there. He's the most corrupt fucking judge of the Supreme Court in history, and that's saying a lot.
And he would repeal interracial marriage if it profited him. Now, if you know anything about him, he's married to a white lady. So that's how greedy he is.
Yeah, he just like all right wingers, they have no moral compass at all. When I say right wingers, I mean even the ones that are supposed to be in the center. They're all fucking right wingers. They have no moral compass. They're just money and power. That's all they care about. Yeah, and it just goes on and on. I don't need to go on more, but he's that corrupt. He should bloody take it. Get the fuck off of the Supreme Court.
That was a hilarious fucking segment, like offering him that. But yeah, these people, they stand for nothing. They really do. It's scary how desperate America wants to turn the clock backwards. Christian nationalism is just around the corner as far as
Project 2025, baby. That should scare the shit out of every American.
It's the most unethical, unconstitutional thing that could happen in the States, but they don't give a shit. I mean, Trump even mentioned about it.
Yeah.
Trump even mentioned about suspending the Constitution. Those motherfuckers don't fucking care. His supporters will back him to the hilt. I'm always been desperate to get my cousin on board because academically he's a very intelligent man, but it upsets me so much that he supports Donald Trump and backs him to the fucking hilt. Even though I mentioned that he's a fucking fraudster with things like Trump University, even though he's a rapist with the Gene Carroll case. You know, you want to go on about his business acumen. The guy fucking bankrupt casinos, 4 of them. You know, he's a terrible businessman. He's got his links with Jeffrey Epstein. He's been impeached twice, 4 indictments, over 90 felony charges, the insurrection as well. I mean, these are some of just mentioning about the whole injecting disinfectant thing. You know, there is just so fucking many things, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
And during the insurrection, he was told that people were being killed, police officers, and he refused to call out the guards.
I'll
get to this in a second, Hans. Don't worry.
He said when he was campaigning in 2016, he would be too busy to be running the country to play golf. He played more golf in 1 term than any other president played in 2 terms. He said Mexico was going to build a wall. Mexico was going to pay for the wall that they built. That never happened. I mean,
hey, you build a wall up here, we'll pay for it.
Yeah, just lie on consistently, compulsive lie. He said he was going to have a healthcare plan in 2 weeks. That never materialized. And people still back this motherfucker. You know, like all these people. Like my cousin was telling me about how corrupt Nikki Haley is. I'm sure she is corrupt. I'm not doubting that. You know, but you are saying how corrupt Nikki Haley is, and then look at all this shit with Donald Trump. Why doesn't that concern you? You know, why are you back? And then he's trying to show how cool Donald Trump is because Donald Trump's making fun of Biden being slow and fucking having cognitive decline. I already know Biden is slow and has cognitive decline. Yeah, but I told him I would vote for Biden's rotting fucking corpse if I was an American citizen over fucking Donald Trump. Someone like myself in my position, you know, being an ethnic minority, you know, being bisexual, you know, these things, I would have to vote for fucking Biden. I have no choice, regardless of how shitty he is with fucking Palestine. And regarding Donald Trump, he's already moved the fucking embassy to Jerusalem. He's going to back fucking Netanyahu to the hilt. He's not going to do a better job. And my cousin being Muslim, he cares about the Palestine issue. And he wants to still vote for Donald Trump, who wants to ban fucking Muslims. He wants to ban you, my cousin, from coming into the goddamn country, and you still back him. I'll never understand. I just don't get it. I don't know what I have to tell him for him to understand. You're fucking
nothing, mate. There's nothing you can say. They just once they got it in their head, that's it. And they'll only realize it until they're personally affected. So when they come for him, okay, I don't know if he lives out there, but when they
he's Canadian. He's Canadian. They ban him from coming into the country.
All right. Well, he's when they don't let him into the country, or when he's pulled into a room, or he's suddenly shipped off to Guantanamo Bay, then he's suddenly going to realize, this affects me. Therefore bad. You know, it's like how many Republicans have gay children that came out in support of gay people. It's just like, it's only because it happens in your own family.
Nancy Reagan was against stem cell research, and then her husband got ill with dementia. Then she's for it. Their child's gay. All of a sudden, they should have marriage and rights. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to. Before you go, one more thing, just to quickly get to Vance's comment. I want to get this one out of the way. Yeah, this is what I've got for you, Daniel Vance, regarding that particular thing, because it's absolutely stupid that embryos are now seen to be human beings and shit like that. So this is what it is to be like in Alabama.
You know what? Convince them that masturbation is genocide, and see if they'll stop doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but some people are anti.
It's ungodly.
A lot of them are anti-masturbation as well, because I see these dickheads on TikTok saying how masturbation's a sin and shit like that. You know what I mean? But Jesus Christ, it's the most natural thing you can fucking do. You know, you're finding it a bit hard to sleep? Have a wank. Trust me, have a wank. You'll fucking go to sleep pretty good after that. I'm telling you. So,
mate, these fucking people, man, they do everything that they tell other people not to do because they feel so much guilt about it that they want to. And this is the party of small government. You know, conservatism in a nutshell is basically we want small government for corporations and the rich, but we want a fascist government for the working class to make sure you plebs work yourself to death to keep us rich. That's how it works. It's
And
again,
freedom,
as we say,
as long as you agree with what I say.
yeah, agree with me or no freedom of speech for you.
Yeah.
It's it's this constant thing. They don't, and they can't. And I mean, the one thing I loathe about conservatism the most is right wingers have this inability to leave people alone. If they say, you know what, we want a safe space for this reason, we don't want people with your ideology here. They'll throw a tantrum, they'll storm a fucking building, they'll burn it to the ground just because somebody told them no. Or if you create a forum where you just want like-minded individuals to come in and have a chat and all this kind of stuff, they'll storm that forum, they'll spam it with bots, they'll ruin it, they won't leave people alone. And we see it. You see it how they've done it with trans people. They change fucking laws that affect trans people because they cannot leave people alone. It's like, well, it's basically fascism, you know. I don't want you to have any kind of freedom, any kind of you cannot get away from me. I must control every aspect of your life because we don't agree, and until you agree, I'm not going to leave you alone. And
So much so that they're going to inspect your genitals.
Yeah, so much so they want to inspect your fucking genitals.
We believe in freedom, but we don't like gays. We don't like people who want to be trans. We don't want like people who claim to be non-binary. We don't like any of that shit. But we believe in freedom. We just want people to be white Christian conservatives. That's the only freedom we want. Everyone else can go do one.
Yeah, we want to be the white owners again that own everything, and then everyone else can die. So, TLD, sorry we kept you waiting. I'll read to you what Project 2025 is. I hope this article is accurate. There we go. Okay, Project 2025 plan to dismantle U.S. climate policy for next Republic. I mean, it's not just this. So hang on, let me see. Blah, blah, blah. Right-wing groups have crafted an essential presidential proposal to bolster the planet heating, oil, and gas industry and hamstring energy state. Hang on. This is what I hate. They're such cowards. That's not what Project 2024 is. It's about dismantling the state and bringing in a Christo-fascist fucking government, basically. Let me get somebody with more balls to fucking article with more balls on it, idiots.
And they won't even stop there. If they get that, they'll then try and make everyone else in other countries do it too. And being as we are neighbors, that really scares me.
Yep. Demolish.
Like living in an apartment building above people that make meth. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, right. Let me get this one. It's from a Michigan newspaper. So let's see if they do this correctly. I mean, you can go and find there are actual fucking right wingers giving their speeches about it, but I dare not play them on here because, again, everything gets struck down. Right, in 2023, maybe let me see. Must be a lot. 20, immigrants and other marginalized communities have the most to lose. Okay, so in 2023, women of childbearing age, young adults, children, African Americans, undocumented immigrants, and other marginalized communities have the most to lose if Donald Trump wins a second term because he's coming for us. Trump, aided and abated by far-right extremist MAGA supporters and the remnants of the Republican Party, pose a clear and present danger to the country. They are gearing up to reassert racial and political dominance by upending the political system, eviscerating the rule of law, and wielding unconstrained power in service of the interests of the far-right conservatives and Christian nationalist minority. The instrument they plan to use to implement this strategy is Project 2025. In a nutshell, as Harrod Mayerson explained in a recent article, Project 2025 is a blueprint for a conservative presidency. No. It is a blueprint for fascist, Christo-fascist states, not just conservative presidency. That is just that's just undermining what it is. The actions of liberal politicians in Washington have created a desperate need and unique opportunity for conservatives to start undoing the damage the left has wrought and what left built a community for all Americans in 2025. Well, I mean, that's a lie. The Project 2025 manifesto said it's not enough for conservatives to win elections. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left, what radical left? We need both a governing agenda and the right people in place ready to carry out this agenda out day one of the next conservative administration. A vast and secretive dark money network. Project 2025 is a sweeping right-wing blueprint for the next Republican president, Trump or not, to run the country for the foreseeable future. Funded by the Heritage Foundation, the Koch brothers, and a vast secretive dark money network, the project has recruited at least 80 far-right organizations and entities to the cause. Conservative warriors plan to fund the Department of Justice, dismantle the FBI, break up the Department of Homeland Security, and eliminate the Department of Education and Commerce. So the first two I'm all right with, get rid of the FBI and Homeland Security. That's fine. The 30-chapter, 920-page. Oh my God, how much more is this? No, that's all right. It's not too much. Basically, how fascism works in general is basic. I'll stop reading that now. It's the same with everywhere. You dismantle the system, you dismantle the laws, you change up the courts, and you effectively consolidate power.
And you put your people into positions.
That's it. You flood the courts with your people, just like Ron DeSantis did in Florida, and you consolidate power. It becomes virtually impossible to vote these people out. It's the same thing that's happened in Russia and Turkey and fucking you name it. It's happened. Turkmenistan, all these kind of places. And just think of all the worst things that these idiots have been talking about. They'll take away abortion rights. They'll take away gay marriage. They'll make it illegal to be gay. They'll take away interracial marriages. They will take away everything. They will dismantle the Environmental Protection Agency. They will everything
that's left.
And just
women's right to vote, earning a decent wage, all of these things.
Yeah. The only reason they want to get rid of the FBI because Trump put his man in place, but then that guy said, "Fuck you, I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm not going to just do what you say." So now Trump's got it out for the FBI, or he wouldn't have put that on the list. Honestly,
he's really into loyalists, but he's so disloyal himself. He'll throw. I mean, he was willing to get Mike Pence killed, and people like Mike Pence is still a fucking coward. You know what I mean? So
I think the worst you hear when you hear Project 20, Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, Mark Meadows, Steve Miller, they flood the courts with lawsuits meant to undermine democracy one small piece at a time. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It's just
Charlie Kirk apparently.
They're just gonna tear up the Constitution and just rewrite it for themselves. It's very scary. Like, it's nothing to like. When I say you're better off getting your fucking Second Amendments out and dealing with it now before it gets too late, otherwise you're fucked. Because those Second Amendments are going to end up being turned on you, and you know what I mean. I'm just not going to say it properly because
and they're going to get rid of the First Amendment because freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Of course, you have to have their religion. Freedom to redress your government without fear of reprisal, and freedom of press. That's their number one. They got to get rid of that.
Yeah. Bannon,
the Second Amendment
about how J6 didn't work, but they're still at it. They are literally saying on stage they want to bring democracy down, and no one's challenging them on that.
Even the Second Amendment, they'll only let certain people have it. But look, regarding Charlie Kirk, before I forget, he's in a little bit of hot water with some of the right wing because you can do dog whistles and you can blame certain people for certain things, and you can still have like ethnic minorities on your side, like black people can still be on the Republican side, could be on the conservative side, regardless of what happened to George Floyd, regardless of all these black people marching on the street and protesting and stuff like that. They will still be on your side. But when you start basically saying I wouldn't trust a black person being a pilot on an aeroplane. You openly say that because you believe that you got there because of you didn't study hard enough. They just wouldn't let a white person do it. You say things like that. I wouldn't trust a black lesbian being my doctor. What the fuck does her being black or a lesbian got to do with anything? You know what I mean? But regardless, they say shit like that. Then black people who are conservative hear that shit saying you don't trust black people in any form of occupation. Hear that shit from Charlie Kirk. They get pissed off, regardless of them, being on.
Because they want that black MAGA vote. They want that black vote.
Yeah.
But when they're on their side saying shit like that, it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
But they are so emboldened now. They are so open about their bigotry. I mean, if you can see like they're coming after the other people because initially it was like the gays and it was like the trans and stuff like that. But now they're basically saying, yeah, if you're black, we don't fucking trust you in any type of work. We believe that usually we see white people doing. So I like to see white people. It's not even planes. That. It's I don't like to,
white men. It's just white.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So I like to see a white man fly a plane. The idea of a black man flying a plane is absurd to me, and I'm because he's black solely because he's black. I believe he's going to crash the plane. It makes me scared. Charlie Cook even said, his colleague said, I like to see the square jawed. Like he just like. So you're going to judge somebody being able to fly a plane because he's got a square fucking jaw and he's white. That's how you're going to decide if somebody's capable of flying a plane. Ridiculous. I mean, they're so fucking racist. And they are hurting their black vote chance now because they're just so open and so emboldened with it now. They're not holding back anymore. It's just ridiculous. It really is.
Keeping on that conservative fascist train, we're going to switch over to Alabama. So let me bring this up. So
back
Alabama,
to the chicken eggs. Yeah.
Back to the chicken eggs. The Alabama Supreme Court has ruled that frozen embryos can be considered children under state law. A decision critics said would have sweeping implications for the fertility treatment in the state. The decision was issued in a pair of wrongful death cases brought by 3 couples who had frozen embryos destroyed in an accident at a fertility clinic. Justices citing anti-abortion language in the Alabama Constitution. By the way, they held a referendum in Alabama about abortion, and the pro-life debate won. And the same in Kansas or Missouri or wherever. And so, but again, they don't care until they get their fucking what they want. So despite their own voters striking it down,
you said pro-life.
Roundabout ways to go for it.
You said pro-life one. Did you mean the other way?
No. The pro-life argument won in Alabama. That's what shit scared them. Because again, all the MAGA Republicans that ran in the midterms.
Pro-choice. You don't mean pro-choice.
You mean pro-choice.
Sorry, pro-choice. Whoops.
Yeah,
what did I say? Pro-life.
Yeah. Pro-life. Yeah, you said it a couple of times.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the fuck you guys.
I said it twice. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's all right. It's your
talking up to me being a moron. So yeah. All right. Yes, you're right. Yes. So the pro-choice lot won, and so now they're going round about it in any other way that they can. The decision was issued in a pair of wrongful death cases. Well, all right, I've read that. Unborn children are children. Well, no, without exception on developmental stage, physical location, or any ancillary. Okay, so the person that masturbated into the tube then should be the one punished, right? If that's the case. Because it's not the clinics, it didn't start with a clinic, it started with the guy that beat off into a jug, okay, and then they froze the sperm. So is that person going to be punished? I'm guessing not.
Yeah. Every time a woman has a period, is she like throwing away a dead fetus, or a dead embryo, or like?
Not only that, what was I just gonna say? Oh, fuck. I'll come back to it.
Okay. Mitchell said that the court previously ruled that fetuses killed while a woman is pregnant are covered under Alabama's Wrongful Death of a Minor Act, and nothing excludes extra uterine children from the act's coverage.
Which will just kill you if it happens. You will die.
Yeah.
And earlier it said, fuck, I did it again. Never mind.
Okay. Let me just read the article and then we'll go back to about things. So The ruling brought a rush of warnings about the potential impact on fertility treatments and the freezing of embryos, which had previously been considered property by the courts. This ruling is stating that a fertilized egg, which is a clump of cells, is now a person. It really puts into question the practice of IVF. Barbara Kalura, CEO of Resolve, the National Infertility Association, blah, 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 blah. The group called the decision a terrifying development for the 1 in 6 people impacted by infertility who need in vitro fertilization. My twins, my nephews, are through IVF as well, and we would never have had those wonderful motherfuckers if it wasn't for IVF. So this just shows you just how ridiculous. And by the way, let me put it. Okay, I'm not going to carry on reading this. A news reporter then confronted, I believe it was either the governor or of the district of where this decision was made, and all this kind of stuff, or a district governor, whatever. And this dumb shit didn't even know what IVF is. He didn't even know what IVF is. It's like, oh, people should be breeding. It's like, well, this is going to stop people from. This is going to make less kids in the world if you do this. They're like, yeah, well, anyway, the point still stands. It's like, you don't know what you're doing, and yet you're ruling. You're. This is why stupid people should never be allowed to govern, ever. Like, there needs to be competency tests. You can't just run your mouth off, get elected without knowing. And there also should be a rule in place that saying, if you do not understand what you are voting against, you cannot fucking have a say. And first and foremost, no man should ever have a fucking say on abortion, ever. It should never be allowed for them to vote on a woman's fucking body. Women aren't allowed to vote on a man's fucking body. So I don't know why the fuck men are the ones making the decisions about abortions. It's like up in Manchester University, where a group of men started an anti-abortion club. And obviously there's nothing you can do because of free speech laws and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, but it's just men. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, this is where free speech needs to be cut off, because it's like, there's free speech, and then there's, what's the incentive behind your free speech? It is to do damage and control of another person. Ergo, fuck you. You shouldn't be allowed to run a group as dangerous as that. So, you know, if an IVF building burns down, who is liable for mass? Well, exactly, Vance. Exactly. You know, who's liable if the building burns down now?
Well,
if it's an act of God, are you going to punish God?
Well, no, wait. According to that article, these embryos are human beings. And as you know, human beings can breathe and survive on their own. So they should have been able to walk their asses out of that burning building, right? So no one's to blame except for themselves. And there is no such thing as murder because they can survive by themselves. So if the machine shut off, who cares? They already have functioning lungs, don't they? Like human beings do. And not only that, if you really wanted,
work in Starbucks.
Sorry?
I said they should have been able to just walk right out and work in Starbucks.
Yeah.
That's what conservatives want, isn't it? Child labor as well.
Yeah. And if you want to prevent abortion, prevent unwanted pregnancies, then I think we should have a vote to determine that all men should have their tubes tied. I forget the technical term for it, because it can be reversed when you do want to have children, and it would prevent abortion because there would be no unwanted pregnancies. So instead of governing my body, let's turn it around and govern your body. Not you guys personally, but men in general.
No, I know what you mean. Oh my God. What's it fucking called? The one where you have the snip. Sam, what's it called?
Vasectomy. Yeah.
They're not. Yeah, they're not as straightforward as people think, though. There's a very small percentage of success in reversing vasectomy.
Seriously,
however,
No,
I agree.
no.
You have that shit just so you can fuck. You have that shit just so you can fuck raw and not get a girl pregnant, please. Well, just show her a condom.
In fact, sometimes they even reverse themselves by accident. So.
Oh, that's a fucking worse. That's the worst fucking nightmare. Imagine that you've had a vasectomy, you still get someone pregnant. That's like, nope, straight to the clinic. Fuck this shit. But yeah, I mean, look, if simple as that. You know, if you're going to make laws about that, then women should be allowed to make laws to say, okay, that's fine. If you don't want abortions, then get a vasectomy. Simple as that. You know, go freeze your tube, go freeze your sperm, or you can't do that. You can't masturbate either. So, you know, and ban Viagra. Viagra is unnatural. So why, if birth control is going to be banned, why the fuck shouldn't Viagra be banned? It's covered by their health insurance, whereas I think in America the pill isn't. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of places it's not. But doesn't God control everything? And wouldn't God be the one that doesn't want your penis to get hard? So why are you going against what God has willed by taking the little blue pill?
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
But they don't think about that. And yeah, no worries. And speaking of conservatives doing things they don't think about, I'm going to segment into this one. I wasn't going to do it till later, but I will. Now, I want to be perfectly clear. The person used in this picture, where the fuck is it? Did I throw it away? Or did I save it? Hang on. Sorry, guys, bear with me. Zam, if you've got anything you want to talk about while I go look for this.
Yeah, let's
Sorry,
let's take it in a slightly different direction. There were some fucking Nazis in Nashville, Tennessee, the other day, within the last week.
Fucking through it.
I'm going to quickly show the clip.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Yeah, I'm so sorry about this, guys. Oh no, there it is.
There was an Australian.
It
was taken. I think there was an Australian man who happened to be in Nashville on holiday or whatever, and he confronted these motherfuckers. So he's shouting at these guys, and I think the only time it's good for a conservative to wear a mask is when they're a Nazi. You can tell there's repercussions because the idea of them going to work or whatever, and that people know that they're fucking Nazis, it's not going to look good on them. They have an ideology, and they're ashamed of it.
Cowards! All of you! Cowards! Show me your faces! Where's your face, you cowards? Show me
Get out of here.
Show me your faces, cowards! All of you! Cowards! And cowards! Where's your face? Where's your face? Show me your face. I don't even know who you are. This is my face. Let's go. Where's your face then?
Get out, Australians. They don't give a fuck, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, cat, go out. You fucking goddamn attention seeker.
What the F did I just miss there?
There was a Nazi march in Nashville, Tennessee, and I think there was an Australian tourist who saw all of this and filmed these motherfuckers saying, "Yeah, you're cowards, you're bastards, you're pieces of shit. Show us your faces." Because when it comes to wearing masks, there's only one time you wear a mask, and that's when you're a fucking Nazi, as far as conservative is concerned. And that was then. And, oh yeah, of course. I mean, they won't wear a mask if it's COVID. They'll cough in people's faces. Yeah, exactly. But you could tell that their ideology is still, and this is the only good thing, is that it's still frowned upon because they don't want to be seen in public. They don't want their faces revealed in public, which is why they cover their identities. But regardless, the fact that these motherfuckers are now marching on the street more often than ever, it's a sad indictment of where we are.
Yeah, I mean, they were posted outside Disneyland and all this kind of stuff in Florida, and they know they're not going to show their faces because of what happened in Ferguson. Because the ones that went out and the Jews will not replace us that march,
the tiki torches,
tiki torches, they all lost their fucking jobs.
Yeah,
their lives got burnt to shit because of it, and they played the victim. They're like, "Oh, I can't get a job anyway." It's like, don't be a fucking Nazi then.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. But apparently Bobby was in that video. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you're in that video. Block.
Both of you.
Yeah. You want to be racist? Be upfront about it. Don't hide it. I totally agree. But
yeah, like Trump.
Exactly. But yeah, that was that one. I've got You want to go to your next thing?
Yeah, mine was just 2 minutes. So I just want to, again, like I said, with conservatives, they don't think about things. And I said it in the past about the whole trans bathroom issue. And I'm like, okay, but remember, a trans man posted a picture of themselves looking like me, saying, I'm in the ladies' bathroom because I've been told this is where I have to be. And lo and behold, if it isn't, I think the correct term is the leopards ate my face or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, okay. So, so an anonymous member in the gender critical women group, which is basically an affront for fucking turfs, basically. Something happened to me today, so I don't really know what to do about it. So I was in the bathroom when someone who is a TIFF came into the bathroom.
So what's a TIFF?
I think trans identifying female or something like that.
Okay.
Some shit like that. I asked them to please leave, and they said they were born with 2 X chromosomes. They said they were instructed to use the ladies' bathroom because they was born a woman, but transitioned later in life or something. But I swear to God, this person looks so weird. Like, they look super masculine. They even have a beard and everything. I talked with the upper management, but they said that that's where they have to pee because they were born a woman and are still marked as a woman. Jesus Christ, how fucking German of you.
Backwards.
On their birth certificate. Now I feel uncomfortable. What should I do? By the way, this is what they look like, but they looked something. This is what they looked like, but they looked something kind of like this. I think they meant to say this is what I'm showing you this picture, so you get an idea of what I was looking at. She didn't look like a girl at all. Yeah. So if I zoom in, so they kind of looked like this person down there, and
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about.
Get
You
what
see?
you asked for, right?
And they still can't comprehend it, but they're so fucking
They
stupid.
can't comprehend it because trans men do not exist in the minds of conservatives because that's not who they want to masturbate to. Therefore, they don't care about them at all. It doesn't register with them. But the reality is, you'll get people like me that have a vagina. I don't have a vagina. I mean, I might as well have, but I don't have a vagina. But people like me who have a vagina going into the ladies, and people are going to react exactly like this moron did. So that, my
You would have
friends,
thought, you would have thought Elliot
I think-
Page would have shone a light on trans men, but not enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, because Elliot
think-
Page doesn't have a massive beard and huge pecs and isn't 6 foot tall like some of these trans men are.
I
You
was
know,
just going to
yeah.
say that if I were trans, I would obviously want the right to go to the bathroom that reflected the sex that I was becoming or became. But I think that if I was a woman that was transitioning to a man and I looked really masculine, I would probably go out of my way, because this is the kind of person I am, to actually use the woman's bathroom just to make that point. Like,
yeah.
okay.
Listen, and the thing is, there's so much like hoo-ha about fucking men, male and female bathrooms. Like, who gives a shit? Listen, when I was in Newcastle, I was washing my hands in the sink after I used the toilet. A woman plops herself up on the sink, pulls down her knickers, and pisses in the sink. I carry on washing my hands because I'm too drunk to give a fuck. And I hand her some tissues to wipe her fanny and go about the day. And that was it. Nobody cared. Nobody got raped. Nobody got assaulted. I mean, the chances of that happening are fucking slim. It's not impossible. It does happen. But there's so much fear put into it, but disguised, of course, as, it's anti-trans rhetoric, but they use the bathrooms as an excuse to do it.
And it doesn't matter what you put on the door as a stick figure. If someone's going to rape someone, and statistically they're going to be cis, they're just going to go in and do what they want because that's what they do, regardless of what bathroom you're telling people to use. I mean,
and you give them the idea to put on a wig and go into the bathrooms now. Now they're like, this is genius. I could do this now. And it's been done. Since this whole thing became an issue, there was an uptick in men dressing as women and going to bathrooms and raping because they got the idea from you lot. So it's
And
just
these
like,
are conservatives, by the way. These are the very people who claim that someone going to the bathroom is some sort of like means of like means of sexual deviancy when it isn't, but they've made it that way because they wanted to find a reason to do so. And so now that they'll fucking put a wig on their head and fucking claim to be a woman. And
those aren't trans. Those aren't trans people.
Yeah, no, they're
binary, they're nothing
just,
like that.
Just cis straight men just got given a great idea to go and execute it, and that just damages trans women in the end. So oh yeah, go on, Sam. You go on to your next one, then we'll go to mine.
Okay, so you want to do something sad or you want to do something funny?
Whatever you want, mate.
Princess, sad or funny?
Let's do sad so we have something funny to end on.
All right. The next story is about a non-binary person called Next Benedict. They are a person who this young person here, 16 years old, straight A student, by the way. And because of people like libs of TikTok who give out a lot of anti-trans rhetoric, and it was to do with areas within Oklahoma and stuff, this young person got the shit beaten out of them and they ended up dying from their injuries. So the death of a non-binary 16-year-old in Oklahoma has left LGBTQ plus Americans overwhelmed by anger and grief this week. Next Benedict, a 16-year-old non-binary student, died on the 8th of February after a physical altercation with classmates in their high school bathroom, according to a statement by local law enforcement on the 21st of February. In a statement on the school website, the school officials said students were in the restroom for less than 2 minutes and the physical altercation was broken up by other students who were present in the restroom at the time, along with a staff member who was supervising outside of the restroom. By Thursday, no arrests had been made in connection with Nex's death. Owasso police said that the preliminary, I can never say that word properly, information from the medical examiner office suggested Nex had not died as a result of trauma. Owasso police said an official autopsy report will be available at a later date, and further comments on the cause of death are currently pending until toxicology results and other testing is completed. For now, there's still a shroud of mystery surrounding how the teenager died. As the police investigation unfolds, Nex's death has been a painful reminder of the increasing vulnerability of the LGBTQ plus Americans, especially trans and non-binary children. While the information we have been able to gather leaves us with a still incomplete picture, we know that Next Benedict, the student who died, faces being dead named and misgendered in death, said Freedom Oklahoma, an LGBTQ plus advocacy group. Shortly after Nex's death, initial reports confused the student's name and gender identity. In an update on a GoFundMe set up by Nex's mother, Sue Benedict, she said that we are sorry for not using their name correctly, and as parents we were still learning from the correct forms. Please do not judge us as Nex was judged. Please do not bully us for our ignorance on the subject. Nex gave us that respect, and we are sorry in our grief that we overlooked them. Schools officials did not call an ambulance after the altercation on 7th of February because it was determined that the ambulance service was not required. I mean, the kid would kick the shit, but okay, fair enough. According to a statement released on Wednesday by the Owasso Police Department, still
she was beaten unconscious at the time, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. The school nurse recommended that Next Benedict visit a medical facility for further examination. Notably, Sue Benedict said in an interview with The Independent that her child had started to be bullied by other students last fall. The bullying began shortly after the Oklahoma governor, Kevin Stitt, signed a bill that prohibits transgender public school students from using the bathroom that matches their gender identity. I said, you've got to be strong and look the other way because these people don't know who you are, she told the publication. I didn't know how bad it had gotten. Parents are always blissfully unaware of these things. Stitt offered his condolences to the Next family in a statement on Wednesday, calling it a tragedy and said that bullies must be held accountable. The statement seemed hollow to LGBTQ plus people across Oklahoma, several of whom told The Guardian this week that their state has become increasingly hostile towards transgender and non-binary people. This is a direct result of hateful rhetoric about Two-Spirit and LGBTQ people, says Sarah Adams, a Two-Spirit member of the Choctaw Nation the Native American, I guess. But Two-Spirit is a contemporary term used by many indigenous cultures to describe a person who lives outside the gender binary of a male and female. Adams said that state leaders, including Stitt, have routinely antagonized Two-Spirit and LGBTQ plus people in Oklahoma, creating an unsafe learning environment for public school students like Next. It's a tragedy. It's tragic that Next did not receive the support that they needed to go to school and just go to a bathroom safely, she said. It makes me feel so much anger and sadness that as a community we failed Next, and it makes me so scared for our kids. I think I'll leave it there.
The next bit, just sign up.
Oklahoma lawmakers have proposed more than 50 anti-LGBT laws in 2024 alone, more than other states this year, according to the ACLU. In 2022, Oklahoma became the first state to enact an explicit ban on non-binary gender markers on birth certificates. Wow. Just 2 weeks before Nex's death, the Oklahoma school superintendent Ryan Walters appointed a far-right social media influencer, Chaya Raichek. That's the Libs of TikTok person.
That's the Libs of TikTok cunt, yeah.
To the state committee that reviews the appropriateness of school library content. Raichek runs Libs of TikTok, an anti-LGBTQ plus social media account. In a video released by Oklahoma Department of Education last year, Walters described trans children as a danger to their classmates who put our girls in jeopardy. For transgender people outside Oklahoma, the coverage and discussion of Nex's death has been frustrating to behold. Some coverage has used Nex's dead name and incorrect pronouns, prompting many transgender people to be frustrated by the lack of accountability from an anti-LGBTQ plus lawmakers. We'll see people throw their hands up and say, "Oh, we don't know why this violent, horrible event happened," but everyone knows what stoked the hate. It's all really
and they
intentional.
fucking love it. They salivate. They salivate when
they love hurting people. They love hurting the weak. They love hurting the vulnerable. Is what they get off at. You know, they're cowards. They're cowards.
They're like, we're afraid our children are going to be harmed by these, non-cis people.
You don't need to read
the opposite is happening. So, and I just have a question because you do speak quite quickly. Was it the governor said they should stop bullying and something?
Yeah, the governor
bring in tough measures. Then he should be at the top of that list.
I'm not sure about the tough measures, but he was at. Let me find that paragraph.
Well, my point is, he's the one going on about, it's the bullying. It's like, well, you're the biggest, baddest bully because your position and your words.
Yeah,
it said here, Stitt, who created this law. So let me read these 3 paragraphs here. Notably, Sue Benedict said in an interview with The Independent that her child had stated to be bullied by other students last fall. The bullying began shortly after Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signed a bill that prohibits transgendered public school students from using the bathroom that matches their gender identity. I said, you got to be strong and look the other way because these people don't know who you are. She told the publication, I didn't know how bad it had gotten. Stitt offered his condolences to Nex's family in a statement on Wednesday, calling it a tragedy, and said that bullies must be held accountable. The statement seemed hollow to LGBTQ plus people across Oklahoma, several of whom told The Guardian last week that their state had become increasingly hostile towards transgendered and non-binary people.
And I wonder why, when your governor is making statements like that, when they bring in 50 potential bills to pass laws against all these people, I wonder why this is happening.
Yeah. And the one teacher in the school that was fully supportive of Next resigned from her position because she was bullied mercilessly just for showing on social media some support for the LGBTQ community.
And I bet the staff were doing it to that teacher as well. It wasn't just students.
I don't know. Yeah.
And the family members.
Yeah.
She was just bullied online. So I don't know if
there was this one teacher who was he was very much on the side of like LGBT and non-binary students, and he openly said, you know, if your family don't care, you know, don't want to understand you, or don't have any care for your needs about being trans or non-binary, fuck them, I'll be your parent. Something along those lines, that teacher said. And he unfortunately got fired soon after. He had to be, and it's upsetting because, you know, he obviously cares more about these students than the parents do, and the parents in these stupid hickneck towns, they just don't want to fucking understand. They don't, you know, they are so worried about how everyone else will, you know, see them, and, you know, how they're perceived, that they'll shit on their own family. I mean, that's why you have honor killings in Islam, because they're worried about how people will see them, so they end up killing their own kid, not realizing, but they're so stupid, that people will see you now as the person who just killed their fucking child because you were embarrassed of them.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Or you
Stick
think
it on
you're gonna bully them straight?
Yeah. Okay. So sticking with more, again, see, this is all conservatism. This is, you know, this is what we keep drubbing on about. So conservative government would require websites to verify age to watch porn by Ottawa. A future conservative government would change the law to require that porn websites verify the age of users to prevent minors from accessing the content. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre signaled on Wednesday. When asked whether his government would require porn websites to verify age of users, Poilievre gave one-word answer: just. He didn't offer further explanation, and his office quickly followed up with clarifying statement, asserting that the Tories don't believe in the imposition of a digital ID. The Tories are sponsoring and supporting a Senate private members bill that promises to require age verification for people to access a pornography online. So,
doesn't that already exist?
No. It's just like, are you over 18? Yes. It's they mean like, you know, actual give like ID or whatever. Bill S-210 passed in the Senate in the spring, and New Democrats Bloc Québécois.
Bloc de Québécois.
Thank you, Québécois. And Conservative MPs voted to send it to a House of Commons committee for study. No such meeting have been scheduled yet. The proposed law would require websites to verify users' ages before they can access sexually explicit content, and it will penalize sites that don't complain. How democratic. But it does not specify how it would be done. Options could include the use of digital government and ID, as some US states have legislated, or services that can estimate scan age based on the person's face. So these porno websites are going to get all your personal information, and they can scan your fucking face. And these are the type of websites that are always privy to hacking. So just fucking ridiculous. Do I need to read on, or gist of it?
No, you don't, because this reminds me of something a while back that happened, I think in Utah, that they banned porn.
Yes.
And you know what? And then like people were looking at the net traffic on certain things. You know what went up in Utah? VPNs, as Rick B mentioned earlier. VPNs, because people will still want to fucking jerk off, you know, like. And so VPNs were shooting through the roof in the state of Utah. Yeah, the land are free. Yeah, VPNs. You know, it's a way of
private network, so they can't see your IP address.
Yeah, so they don't know what part of the world. Yeah, you can say that you're from Australia or from the Czech Republic or from New Zealand or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, so and that way you can access things like porn, you know, from a country which bans porn.
Or like Netflix in different countries will allow you to watch different shows, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the VPN sales went up, you know, through the roof in Utah because people want to watch porn, you know. So
yeah,
it just goes to show that these things are stupid. And when you know, especially in countries like I'm not sure that wasn't America, was it? That was you mentioned Tories.
That was Canada.
UK. Okay.
See all the Canadian flags behind that guy when he was speaking?
No, sorry, I missed that. But the point is that countries like America, which once again likes to call themselves the land of the free, don't they don't want people to watch porn in Utah, which is fucking stupid.
Mormon
And they-
country, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're going about state law. By the way, I love the way The Rock ripped the shit out of those people in Utah. That was great when he did his fucking monologue. But this is what was so funny as well, because the conservatives go on about state rights, and loads of states went against abortion because even certain red states were against abortion. So a lot of women voted, and they voted to keep Roe v. Wade and shit like that. And then now conservatives are talking about a nationwide ban on abortion, but they don't give a fuck about state rights. Yeah, they just want to control
They
women.
don't care. So let's
Yeah,
get
I
to some
mean-
comments. Florida just passed a law banning children under 16 from social media. Other states have tried, it has been struck down as unconstitutional. And TLD, they want to know who you are to watch porn. This is absolutely crazy invasion of privacy, but this is conservatism. They want
Daniel
and
Vance,
liberalism as well.
I can't.
You know,
That's incredible. Like
not-
Florida just passed a law banning children from under 16. Like for a start, children under 16 are the ones who use social media, for fuck's sake, of various types. And
No, why they're doing that, innit?
because they want to do a ban on TikTok. But America, the land of the free, are desperate to fuck. These conservatives, the anti-cancel culture motherfuckers, are desperate to stop TikTok
Because they don't own it.
They don't
And
own
this
it.
is how America operates. If they don't
And-
own
and
something,
They think
that's why they
China's
banned
gonna
Cadbury
spy.
and Kinder all those years. Okay, because it wasn't owned by American corporations. As soon as the Americans bought them, they flooded the fucking country with Cadbury's and shit. Not Kinder, because
Buenos.
Ferrero owns that. As
And-
much as the
and they-
Americans still want to try and buy that.
And the excuse that China's gonna spy on you through TikTok. What are they gonna find out? What fucking dance moves you have?
What,
mean,
what am I
really.
wanking to? What am I
what you
wanking to? Right?
And who
Yeah.
fucking cares? That's China. What the fuck is China going to do with my data? Like, they're no different to Google and Facebook. Like, Facebook is incredibly intrusive to the point where, like, all of these social media apps, the microphones, okay, you deactivate them, they reactivate. You talk about something, they'll advertise that fucking something, and they sit there
Yeah.
talking about again. They'll give you every reason under the sun, but it's because TikTok is a direct threat to Google and to Meta. That's why they want to ban it from the States. They don't really care. If it was American owned, they wouldn't be having this conversation. And the other reason they want to ban under 16 from social media is because younger generations are more politically aware than ever before. There is no one, you can't control the narrative on social media in the same way that you can on TV and in the newspapers. And that's just why, the young are so much more left wing, because they understand the bullshit. They read about the bullshit. They know about the bullshit. And a large swath of them are like, no, I'm tired of this fucking system. Blaming trans and immigrants people just doesn't fucking fly with us. And that's another reason why they just want you dumb, ignorant, and on Facebook
Breeding.
where all that stupid shit
Breeding
flies
more
all the-
Christians. I mean, they want a smaller state unless it suits them, like smaller government. Like, why wouldn't you just leave it up to the parents to decide how much internet time their child gets? Because 16 and under would be a child. But the government has to step in. Isn't that the definition of big government?
Conservatives are all about big government and only want small government when it comes to benefiting your lives. They don't. If your life needs to be benefited, that's small government. The government shouldn't be there to help you whatsoever. But when it comes to restricting your lives, they'll fucking go big government to the fucking hilt. That's who the right wing conservatives are.
And here in the UK, Rishi Sunak is going to be banning mobile phones being used by students in school completely. Like, they're going to put it to a vote to see whether to completely ban the use, or to just during, like, put them somewhere safe during school activities or whatnot.
I
Where
can
the
see
fuck?
turning them off during class time because you don't want phones ringing when there's a lecture on.
I mean,
I-
I'm perfectly okay with them being banned
Lessons.
from being used during school time, but not from the premises of a school.
No.
It's not
because
really
anything-
about ban. It's just like school policies individually should say, fine, you know, we're about to learn now. Put your or put your phones in this particular box or whatever. Actually, I wouldn't do that because that could lead to theft. But there should be
Yeah,
somewhere there should be like they should have compartments now in on your tables and stuff like that where you can hide your phone or whatever, something like that. You know, because
Or
that.
just turn
Maybe-
it off and put it in your pocket, and if it rings, you get some sort of trouble, a little bit of trouble. You know.
Yeah, but here we go. Here we
yeah.
go. I need
Yeah.
to play this gem of a video because you know this cunt couldn't
I
stop
hate
being crazy.
him. I
That
hate him
Sunak?
so much. Yeah, our Prime Minister.
One of the biggest issues children and teachers grapple with every day is the
He's trying to be so
Yeah.
clever. I want to slap him.
Of-
Slap him so badly.
Oh. See how frustrating that is. Almost 1/3 of secondary school pupils said their lessons were disrupted by phones. We know that they're a distraction in the classroom and cause bullying in schools. Many schools have already banned them, which has led to a safer and better learning environment for their students. Now, we're publishing new guidance so other schools have the support they need to do the same. We're making sure our children receive the education that they deserve.
But no breakfasts for the needy at your
No
schools, right?
kids. Nope. No food and strip away education. You know, defund education as well. But hey, you know, mobile phones. Oh, I mean, I get it, but that should be up to the schools to decide. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that.
He's not
You
a
know.
nice guy. He's a con man. You can see right through him. He's got
He's
that
not a
fucking
nice
fake
guy,
smile.
man.
He's a fake, so that fake smile and shit like that. I never trust a person who smiles too much. Never.
If it
Exactly.
were my school and I ran it, I'd be like, you have, if you're mature enough, you could have your phone in your pocket. It's got to be off during lessons. If you prove to me that you forget to turn it off every time, then it will be seized during the lessons for that individual person that keeps breaking the rules. Not the whole class. I'm not punishing everyone for one asshole. But, you know, you get a couple goes at it because you want to be adults now or growing into adults. Let's teach you how to go that way and be that way. And if you can't do it, your phone's going in the drawer.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
mean,
opinion.
yeah, that's absolutely fine. You know what I mean? For me, I'm just turn your phone off. That's it. During
Look,
lesson, turn your phone off.
there has to be a workaround because phones are an integral part of our lives now. So you can't just ban them. There has to be a workaround. Figure it out. I'm not there to figure it out, but I can understand a solution can be easily created to figure it out. These are the people who need to figure it out and create that solution, and hopefully all of this
Well,
shit will be resolved.
It's very simple. If you don't like turn your phone off during class, if you don't do that, your phone gets confiscated. You can't get it back to the end of the day. It's simple as that. There is a lack of discipline anyway in British schools. It's been like that as far back as I can remember. Compared to Greek schools, English schools are just like, yeah, you can just beat the shit out of each other, call each other the N-word, and we don't give a fuck. At least that was my experience in my school. But yeah, have the phone confiscated, and if the kid puts up, kicks up a fuss, kick them the fuck out. You know, stick them in a room on their own without their bloody phone. But the quintessence, and if they continue to be belligerent, get the parents in and say, if your kid brings a fucking phone into the school, we're going to fine you. Because we can't expel kids anymore, but we're just going to fine you every fucking day until your kid stops bringing a phone in because they lost that privilege because they're a cocky little wanker. You know, simple as that. You've got to be
I don't
ruthless.
know. That sounds like if some single mom and you're already struggling as it is, and you know, like, no, I don't know about that, Ginge. You know, it sounds like you're almost
No.
punishing a parent.
I disagree, Zam,
No,
because that's just the worst excuse ever. Well, I'm a single mom or a single dad. Well, you're a parent. You know, you gave
Yeah, be a
birth to a
fucking parent.
child or inseminated someone. It's your job now.
okay.
Do
Look,
it.
I worked in for a few years. I worked in on mobility buses, and on one particular week, I had to deal with kids who were like really troublesome. I mean, they were really troublesome. Picking them up in the morning wasn't too bad because they were still fucking half asleep. Taking them back home from school was when they were real fucking cunts.
Yeah.
You know, and these are real troublesome kids who even the parents don't know what the fuck to do with because they are just born wankers.
No,
You know what I mean?
it's because they were
Mash up
when
the
they were
phone then.
little. When they were
Yeah.
little, they were let off. They were let off, and they were taught that all they had to do was bitch and scream, and mom would cave. But if they'd started off at a young age, say, with rules and guidelines, and then penalties, not just saying, "Oh, this will happen if you do that," and then not following up, because that's the problem, not following up. If you're going to get fined because your child can't follow the rules with the phone, then that parent takes that phone because you don't want to get fined because you can't afford it. Then your
Oh,
child
Costa.
doesn't have the phone anymore.
What's over there,
We are
Kat?
talking. I am talking about like these like prepubescent. We're not talking like toddlers turning into young children. We're talking prepubescent cunts. You know, like they are awful fucking human
Look,
beings. Yeah, I
look,
mean,
I
like
mean,
I felt
in this,
sorry for the parents who have to have these kids who have to be put on
yeah,
special
but the
buses
issue,
to be taken to special classes because they
look,
can't be out with other kids, but they're so troublesome.
yeah, I get it. I get you. Look, there are always going to be cases where you can have amazing parents, but the kid just something is just miswired and they're complete arseholes and all this kind of stuff. I get that. But we have a huge problem in the UK with like if you ask me who are the worst fucking parents in the world, I would rank us and the Americans among the fucking worst. But okay, this is why we have like huge antisocial behavior among teenagers. They don't have a community spirit. They don't have this community well-being. You don't see all these other kids like going around causing as much havoc as these little fuckers do. And it look, okay, poverty plays a huge role into it as well. I'm not going to take that away because when the parents have to work and it's difficult and all this kind of stuff, but we're just talking about a phone here, a simple phone. If your kid's being a dick and disrupting a class with their phone, either the school can take the phone away as soon as they enter the building, or the parent keeps the phone at home, or fines are issued. Either way, that there needs to be an understanding here
Consequences.
that there has to be consequences. There's never enough consequences here. Like again, when when my sister-in-law was jabbering on about trying to raise a kid, the kind of yah fucking middle class way of like, oh, I'm not going to do this, don't do that. When your kids start driving you mental, you suddenly the rules go out the fucking window, and you're just like, yeah, it's on, motherfucker. It's discipline time, because
Yep.
it's like otherwise they're not going to listen, and but some people don't do that.
And
They
you
just
got to
let them
start.
carry on.
You got to start right from the beginning, and it's got to be age appropriate rules and age appropriate consequences.
I agree, Rick.
And you can't beat your kid, but you can have, a 3-year-old gets a 3-minute timeout, and you don't threaten them with it. You carry through with it if they keep up the behavior that is incorrect. You can't just cave because the child cries or says no, 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 or swears at you. You're the adult. You're the grown up. You're the one who took responsibility for keeping that child.
That's what my brother was doing early on. As soon as the kid was crying, he was giving in, and I'm like, "That's going to come back to bite you." And he changed his tone eventually because it's like they just keep doing it. I'm like, I fucking told you. And people don't realize I was a fucking behavioral expert in my job for like 8.5 years. I know how to approach things, and I was trying to teach them parenting skills and all that. And they finally now they've learned, because the kids are older, they're going to get cheekier, more physical, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just how it is. But the key thing is, just being, if you spend more time with the kids, not just effing and jeffing and yelling at them all the time, interact with them more, you just find that they have less behavioral issues.
And you don't have to yell even. You could just say, listen, if you don't stop doing what you're doing right now because it's inappropriate, this is what's going to happen. So stop it. And if they carry on, you don't have to yell those things.
Come
you
in,
can
Cheeto.
just be firm. And I think I've said this story before, but lady at McDonald's put 2 creams in her coffee. Kid wanted to do it. She said, "No, son, I've already done it." He screams, "No, I want to do it." He says it 4 times with her saying no. Finally, on the 5th time, she's like, "Fine." She's already got the cream in her coffee. Now she's got 2 more extra cream in there. That kid has now just learned he's got to scream 5 times at her. Gets what he wants.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. But Rick, again, sorry, go on, Zam. You go. I'll come back to Rick. Comment.
I also think fundamental thing at an early age, and we're talking right from like birth and when the kid becomes a toddler to a child and all of that. I think diet and nutrition is very important because kids today are brought up on fucking sugar and fast food, and I really think that fucks up your development as you grow up because that's all. That's your nutrition. You know, sugar and fucking fast food. It fucks your brains up and everything. And I think healthy food, I think, is fundamentally important. My brother's kids, they have eaten sweets and treats and chocolates and burgers or whatever, but that wasn't their diet growing up the whole way. These things would be treats now and again, you know. And I look at my brother's kids now, I think, wow, they are amazing, you know, like they are so awesome. I wish I could have a couple of kids like that. I'm really glad that they're my nephew and niece. And one of the things I learned was, you know, as they were growing up and when I was with them at times of growing up, not to give them certain things because they weren't allowed it. You know, they weren't allowed to drink Coca-Cola all the time. They weren't eating chocolates and sweets. They weren't eating greasy food, all of that shit. It's still, but I think those things are so fundamental in the development of your kids as they're growing up.
The first time I had Kool-Aid was when I was 12. My parents, my mom in particular, was so into healthy foods. We went to the health food store and they would grind peanuts in front of us. It was so disgusting. So we would have peanut butter. I mean, literally peanut butter. And I hated it. But no sugar diet, or low sugar diet when I was a kid. The only sugary thing we had in the house was molasses.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
I look at molasses as an ingredient, not even
something
that you just eat on its
I
own.
want to get this comment here. Well, Rick, your kid is well behaved because, again, from all the comments that you post on it, you spend a lot of time with your kid and you do shit with your kid. That's very interactive. I'm making an assumption here, but you seem to spend a lot of time with your kid and you do a lot of shit with your kid, and that interaction, that spending time, treating them as a normal person, like you say, because you show them all these different films and all this kind of stuff, treating them goes a long way in their development. When you're fobbing off your kids, tell them to fuck off, leave me alone, go do this. You don't want to spend time with them. It becomes, they start developing behavioral issues. Again, one of my issues with my behavior, because I was a very disruptive kid, was because my parents, they had to work. I didn't spend much time with them growing up. I didn't get the same kind of attention my brother did and all this kind of stuff because they were busy. And then at weekends, I'd just get fobbed off to somewhere else and all this kind of stuff. So I had no real guidance until my teens. And that played a huge role in my development. You know, all my role models and all my friends who were fucked in the head. And so that's why, my brother, for example, he quit his job because he could literally get a fucking job like nothing. He's perfectly fine. He's got enough savings, so he quit his job to just grow up with his kids. You know, get those vital years in because he had the privilege. But he worked his arse off for it to do that because he's like, I don't want to not have time with my kids like our parents didn't have time. So
yeah, my brother's the same.
The boys are lovely, you know, they're cheeky, but in a great way. Cheetah, thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you were saying, Ginger. I mean, it's behavioral, you know, and you have to treat it like a behavior, you know, like I work with a lot of patients and dementia patients, and you have to work with behavior. So it's I kind of know how, but I've been working with it since my kids were little, but you cannot, you're right. You can't, you cannot give into that behavior. Once you give into that behavior, they will keep on going. I mean, basically I'm agreeing with just about everything you've said, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, you kind of have to set the boundaries, set the rules, and there is give and take. It's not like my way or the highway. It's like, is this, you know, yes, there are things that you need to be very stern on, and then there are things you're like, okay, you know, like I'll let, you know, and make sure you know you're letting them slide. You know it. You're not just letting them slide just to let them slide. Like all right, we'll compromise this time, but then like you're also training that behavior that they know that that's not an every time thing. You know,
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
That's like with my kids. As I said, I mean, I growing up with them, I mean, you know, it's behavioral training, and you know, my kids, I have to say, don't tell them this, but you know, they turned out really good. They're really good kids. You know,
Your kids are really good, man. We've watched your kids grow up. You know, I've known you for a decade now. I've watched your kids grow up.
You've known me for like 14 years.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, you were high for
And so-
most of that, but still.
Yeah, but I've watched your kids grow up. Your kids
It's
are really
hard.
great. And what's also important, Cheeto, is that you do shit with your kids, man. You play that fatherly role. My brother's done the same as well, which I think was helped as well. Is that you're not just there as a breadwinner, you're there as a father, and I think that is fundamental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
And my wife Scarlett Johansson is just very absent. I'm very upset with her for being absent in my
Bad
in our-
mom. Bad
I know,
mom. She needs
bad
to spank-
mom.
Bad mommy. Oh dear
No.
God. But yeah, to Rick, yeah, spending time is key. If you don't, they start looking for attention elsewhere. It's exactly
yeah,
what
I
you said.
agree. I mean, likewise,
One of the
I was
biggest-
in that category.
Yeah, and Sam, let me ask you this, okay? Did you just used to go wandering off all hours of the day? Nobody knew where the fuck you were, and all this kind of shit. Because I used to do that all the time.
I have done that, but like with me growing up, my mum and dad would spend their spare time, and this is probably why I'm like this a little bit myself, is that they would spend their spare time gambling. They'll be playing free card brag with their mates till fucking 4 in the morning. And one of the
Something-
things, yeah, I know, well, it's probably why I turned out the way I did as well. But one of the things I remember was like, is that I would go on this. They would have to take me with them because I was too young to be by myself. And my brother was at an age where he'd be starting to go out of the house and do his own thing. And so I was at this person's house and I'm watching TV and bored to shit. And then I'll just sneak out and I'll just play like Dare with the cars and run across the road before the car hit me. Because I was just fucking bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll hide in the bushes, look to see if there's a car. The car's coming. Okay, I'm going to quickly run across the road before the car hits me. You know what I mean?
Damn is a human squirrel.
Yeah, I did shit like that, and because my parents were just too busy wanting to play cards all the time, and my dad was sorry, 1 second, Chris, but my dad being the breadwinner, like he, even when he could have spent time with us, he really didn't. And my mom did to a degree. I did a lot of things with my mom. I went swimming and I'll go to fairs and stuff like that. But my dad, he'll rather just hang out with his mates and shit like that. And my brother got really pissed off with my dad because now he's a granddad and he wants him to not just say hi to his grandkids and give them 50 quid and he's done. He wants my dad to have spent time with his grandchildren growing up, but he didn't do that either. He would just see them.
Oh, really? That's unusual.
I mean, like, my mom did stuff. Like, my mom, before she passed, like, my niece, she was a big Harry Potter fan, and she took her to some Harry Potter stuff and took the kids out. Even I took my brother's kids out and stuff like that, But my dad, he didn't really do that much, like, he just never he never really grasped that role of parenting. He just thought dad, breadwinner. You know what I mean? He didn't even think of dad, father, and spending activities with your kids. Me and my dad have got nothing in common. I love him. I take care of him. He pisses me off beyond fucking belief because he's my child now. He's 85 years old and I fucking take care of him. I feed him every day. All of that shit, But when it comes to like interactions and talking, there's not much to be said to each other because we have nothing in common. We did nothing growing up. I'm really gutted about that, which is why my brother with his kids is making sure he does not repeat those same mistakes, which is why when his kids were growing up, he did all manners of fucking activities with them. And it's definitely it's paid off. But now his kids are at an age now they don't want to spend any fucking time with my dad with their dad. They're doing their own shit. They got girlfriends and boyfriends, and they're going to clubs and shit like that. They're at that age, you know what I mean? They're finishing
Yeah, that's
university.
normal, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But
normal.
at the same time, they still at times, like, you know, on New Year's Eve, they came down, went to that barbecue place we love going to, you know,
Yeah.
and my
Rick,
dad
you got
and my
Rick
and my
and your
and my
dad.
dad and my dad tagged along with us because he's our dad. But that was it, you know. But he just sat there eating with us and never really spoke much because he doesn't know what to say because he doesn't interact with us.
Yeah, it's
so-
just yeah. Chris, sorry, before I talk, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
wanted to say.
Yeah.
Zam, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. Like, I don't put my hand up just to say, oh, I'm talking now. It's like, I'm just going to go next whenever you're done.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Don't
I'm
worry,
sorry.
don't overthink
Um,
things, Chris. It's fine.
I was
It's all
going to
good.
say,
Nobody
I
listens to Zam
I
anyway.
was sent out during the day in the summertime and did spend the whole day out, but my mom knew who I was with, knew where I was going, knew when I was going to be back. She ensured that we knew our home number, obviously, that we had money to phone home, because normally we had to take our bikes to wherever we went, because we weren't given, except for to go to the science center, we weren't given subway or streetcar fare. It was take your bike. So
But did you have your pager on you?
No, pagers didn't come out till I was older.
My mom got me a pager when I was like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, really? We never really pages never really took off over here in the UK. It just went straight to mobile phones.
Sorry, but with my dad as well, like one of the things as well is that he never really embraced technology. So when phones and stuff like that started coming out, he never really he never really appreciated that shit. And now when it comes to mobile phones, he can't fucking use one. Even our television downstairs, because televisions now are screens with menus and all these other things. Like, you know, he can accidentally press the wrong button. He's stuck on some blue screen menu. And he's totally fucking lost. He doesn't know how to watch TV anymore because he doesn't know about the back button or you've forgotten about it or whatever. And he needs me to fucking pick a channel out for him again so he can start watching TV the normal way.
Bonanza.
Really, but this is this is a fucking TV for fuck's sake. I tell my dad, you use this all the bloody time. You should be able to figure this out by now.
Yeah, but they only know channel up, channel down, and volume. That's it. That's all they know because of the buttons they had in the day.
And so many people have tried to teach him how to use a phone. I have, my brother have, my niece and nephew have. The lad who I spent who I've known since he was a kid, a couple of doors away from me, who's got a good relationship with my dad. He comes over sometimes and he tried to teach my dad. Everyone has tried to teach my dad how to use a fucking mobile phone.
He doesn't want to learn. If
He can't remember anymore. But when he finally needs to learn, he can't remember anymore. For some reason, he wanted a computer. I told Dad, "Don't buy a fucking computer. It's a waste of money. You will never fucking learn how to use it." He goes, "I will." And then now we bought a fucking computer, and he's just sitting downstairs, fucking dormant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that sucks, Rick. About your dad. You know, I can't say that about my dad was awesome. You know,
your mum, I'm really
we
sorry
didn't do
about
much
that.
together because obviously they were always fucking working, but you know, we had a lot of things in common: sense of humor, museums, car boot sales, random journeys into central London to look at shit. But that was in my teen years. As a kid, it was like just pillar to post. I'm either staying at my auntie's or I'm growing up in Tottenham or, you know, I'm getting shipped off. I spent all my summers in Greece. That's, you know, when I went to a Greek primary school, that was 3 months in Greece. And then when I went to an English school, it was 6 weeks in Greece. I didn't even do summer holidays with my parents. You know, it was kind of that part I don't care because, you know, fucking Greece. You're like, you got the best friends you could ever have were all out there. And I just found that more as a privilege than anything. But again, I'm just showing you how little the time was spent with the parents growing up, and it does have an impact. When my brother was like a kid growing up, like my parents were, you know, my dad was in the military in Greece, but he had like, you know, my mum there all the time with him. He, grandparents were there all the time, and dad was still there all the time, even though he was doing the military service. Me, it was literally school, get home, brother was looking after me, parents get home, food, and that was it. off to bed. So it's just, yeah, it's unfortunate, but that was the life we lived.
The only thing with me regarding Asian households compared to all the other ones is that my mum wore the pants in the family. My dad was actually kind of fearful of my mum. My mum had a fucking temper on her, and I understand why now, because now my mum's left this earth, and I've taken over that role to a degree of my mum. I can understand why my mum got so fucking pissed off with my dad, because I'm filling that void, and I get really, my dad, he will piss off the most calmest person on the planet. His superpower is being fucking annoying. Yeah, and so I can understand that. But my mum would, when I was growing up, my
Must
mum
be
would
hereditary.
yeah, exactly. My mum would.
I love you,
growing up.
Zero.
I always felt sorry for my dad, but he comes across as a nice guy, and so I was always wondering why my mum was always pissed off with my dad. But now I get it. I totally fucking get it. But my mum always wore the pants in our family. Like I said about them playing free card brag and shit. Everyone around the table was a guy, except for my mum. Obviously, she'd be playing with my dad as well. Be playing, and all the wives would be sitting around in the lounge watching fucking TV and shit like that. They never fucking played. My mum was like, fuck you guys. I'm gonna play with you, motherfuckers. I want to play, and stuff like that. And no one would say shit. No one would say shit to her. My mum was ferocious, and I really feel that one of the best things to happen to me to have such a strong woman in my life growing up, because you see in other Asian households how under the thumb women are, to their subservient to the father, to the dad. I see that with a lot of other members of my family as well, and I never had that with my mum. My mum was fucking didn't take shit from anyone, and I think that was very beneficial for me to become who I am today, to have a mum like that in my family.
Okay,
When I
leave those
realized my
comments
summer
up
trip,
so I can read them.
yeah, I'll read them. Don't worry. When I realized my summer trips to the grandparents were actually vacations for me, I asked her about it, and she laughed in my face. That's exactly why my parents used to ship me off to Greece, mate. It was to get away from me.
Got shipped off to Tanzania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got shipped off to Tanzania like every summer. I've been there
Yeah.
8 fucking times.
No wonder why parents in America are so bad. My parents didn't get a chance to ship me off anywhere. Like that's why parents in America are so bad. They just
Summer
never get a
camp, summer
break.
school, none of that shit. You don't do any of that? No.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, summer camp for scouts, that was like a week long. But
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
we
No, I
would go
used to-
camping, but the whole family would go in the summertime.
Yeah, we had none of that. The first holiday, proper holiday I took with my parents when I was 32. We went on a cruise and it was fucking awesome. And I thought, and I did it because my parents were getting on, and I'm like, we've never had a proper holiday together, at least one that I remember, because I was either too young. I was just too young to remember if we ever did go on holidays. So I thought, yeah, let's go. We're going on a cruise, and we had a great time. It was
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, we'd do 1 week of camping, and then my parents, if they could afford it that summer, would rent a cottage before they got their cottage, and we'd go camp our cottage on the lake for a week. So beginning of the summer, near the end of summer.
Lovely.
Yeah.
My parents sent me from Ohio to Florida. I had a rough childhood. Well, I mean, yeah, having to deal with Florida would be rough. Did they send you off to the bayou and you had to punch alligators or wherever it was? Yeah. Actually, I don't mean to belittle your experiences, Vance. I'm just joking, obviously. But yeah, Princess.
such a racist.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
did I ever tell you about the alligators and me in Florida?
No, but we
Shit
want to
out.
hear now.
You made gator soup out of them.
I was working on a base in Florida, at Jacksonville, Florida, and we would get assigned every day, me and this one guy, to drive these trucks of ammunition to one of the ranges. And this bitch of a supervisor would be like, "This will take you 4 hours, no more." And we'd do it in like 2. So we'd go to this man-made lake in the middle of the base and go swimming, and then drive
Nice.
in the Florida sun, and then get back in our trucks and go back to this bitch and do the run again every day. And about a week into it, there's a family eating a picnic where we're swimming, and they watched us swim for like an hour. We come out of the water and the guy's like, Don't you know these are unprotected waters? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a lifeguard. And he's like, no, there's alligators in there. And I was like, you fucking son of a bitch. He watched us swim for an hour. And the only reason he lived past that moment, his children were there. I was like, you fucking. So for like a week, I was swimming with alligators.
Wait for this fish to get eaten here.
Mhm.
These are unprotected waters. I'm like, yeah, I'm a lifeguard. No, there's alligators in there.
Oh god. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how you got from Canada down to
Yeah.
down to the bayou,
Right.
like southern Missouri.
Oh, well, we drove down in our trucks because we were doing a military exercise there for 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
They were invading, mate. Canada was invading.
Yeah, I was saying Canada was invading.
No, we drove a 10-ton. Well, I drove a 10-ton truck down there so I could move ammunition throughout the base and from the Air Naval Base to the Jacksonville base. Camp Landing.
As big as your mom.
What?
So the trucks were as big as your mom.
That's right. Your mom's so big when she sits around the house, she sits around the house.
Okay, so I'm dying to show you this next clip because one of the people I hate the most on this world is Jesse Lee Peterson. This guy beta.
Sam,
yeah.
1 second, dude. While I have Cheeto here, I just want to do one go off.
All right, no problem.
Because I got to leave in just a couple minutes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play IGN video. I hope it doesn't get fucking struck down. I don't think it will.
And I'm going to go to the bathroom.
All right. So I just
Make sure there's no gators in there.
Right. Can you see that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cheeto.
Yep.
All right.
Would you like to see a new Batman Beyond movie? I would. Sadly, there is not one officially in
Pause
the
it
works.
for 1 second.
Doesn't mean that nobody's.
If we get struck down, we'll be back straight away, just so people know.
Yeah. If the stream gets taken down, yeah, we'll be right back. All right.
Oh, look. Speak of the devil.
All right. Here we go. I'm playing it now.
Trying to make one happen. Yuki Deemers, who's a visual development artist on the Spider-Verse films, posted some awesome concept art for a Batman Beyond movie, along with an explanation of where this project is. Apparently, he and Patrick Harpin, who directed My Dad the Bounty Hunter, pitched WB and DC on an animated feature. In his words, quote, "Before we pitched, they warned us there's absolutely no way we can do a Beyond movie, but they loved our enthusiasm. We pitched the outline for the entire film, and what started out as a never turned into a maybe." Since then, the two have been pitching their way up the company, hoping to get the project in front of James Gunn, who's currently holding the keys to the new cinematic DC universe. Batman Beyond is set in a futuristic version of Gotham, so it'd likely be one of the Elseworlds projects, and the DC animated movies are kind of doing their own thing anyway, rather than being part of the main timeline. But if anything, that should just make things a little bit easier. 90s cartoons were full of hip, edgy reinventions of beloved characters, but Batman Beyond is arguably one of the best byproducts of this. The original series aired on Kids WB between 19...
Yeah, I'll stop that there because it's showing.
I want to say that.
Sorry, I gotta go. We're out of propane, so the heater's going fucked. I gotta call the propane. I'll see you in a bit. I'll be back there.
Okay, no worries. See you later. Take care.
Yeah,
Propane.
I want to say that, like, how people still have a fondness for Batman Beyond after all this time, even though there hasn't been anything Batman Beyond-ish in fucking years. Terry McGinnis is a great character.
Besides comic books. Comic books are really popular, actually.
I had no idea, sorry, but when it comes to like live media and stuff like that,
Yeah,
I think like what they're doing now with X-Men '97, they could easily go back to this world and people will fucking eat it up. I want more of this shit. I want more of. I give them so much credit because when they really wanted to make a new version of Batman that was more young and hip and more relatable, and they obviously couldn't do that with Bruce Wayne. It was impossible. So they made the character of Terry McGinnis, but then to make also a rogue gallery for him as well, a unique rogue gallery was you have to commend them for that to pull that off as well, on the fly. So yeah, I really, really want this back desperately.
I mean, well, before I say, Cheeto, your thoughts on what we just saw?
I mean, I would love a Batman Beyond movie. My only thing is that yeah, it's a pretty obscure like genre, but I think honestly, if they promote it the right way, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was an obscure media, or not a media, but like an obscure thing, and it did gangbusters because of the way they marketed it, the way they did it. Like you can easily sell a Batman Beyond, especially bringing Michael Keaton in as old Bruce Wayne. Like you could.
We're talking live action. We're talking live action.
No,
here.
this is animated. This is.
Oh, is it animated? I missed that part.
Animated,
okay.
Animated.
I mean, still,
is
even animated, I think it's
it
still
could
would
be
be
their version of Into the Spider-Verse. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You take Miles Morales, and because at the time they couldn't do live action because they didn't want to confuse the audiences. Because again, these studios keep thinking that audiences are stupid. They
Let's
went
be
down
fair,
the
some of them are.
animation. Yeah, I mean, they went down the animation route, and they could do the same with Batman Beyond. And I don't mean, it's beyond comprehension that they never did a Batman Beyond animated movie like they've done so many other goddamn DC animated movies. Like they've never gone down that well.
They did one. The return of the Joker.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
which is by far one of the best animated movies of that
Yeah, it
era.
was fantastic. Absolutely, with a twist and turn.
That was way back.
Really good.
That was way back.
And that was the last of it.
How many films have they done? And they've not touched the Batman Beyond within that.
I think they're just scared to. I think they're scared to touch Batman Beyond because it's got this mythos to it. Truth be told,
the last they did, I can't remember exactly, was that they did one where I forgot it was like a spin-off of one of the other shows, maybe Justice League or something like that, where Terry McGinnis was a bit older. He wasn't a kid anymore; he was more of a man. And he found out that actually his dad is kind of like Bruce Wayne because they injected his DNA into the father who banged his mum, so he's got some like Bruce Wayne in him and stuff like that. But
that sounds dumb.
Yeah,
I honestly feel like that was kind of shoehorned.
Yeah.
Let's make them.
It was so unnecessary. But regardless, still, there's already legs here, and it's very popular. And it's a different take on Batman because honestly, the Bruce Wayne thing has been done to death. Let's go with Terry McGinnis and the futuristic side of it as well. It's a different spin on it. I really want this. I really want this.
No, I would be 100% on board, especially animated. Yeah. I think animated. Like honestly, get Michael Keaton to voice Batman now that Kevin Conroy's gone. Like you could still
Terry McGinnis.
No, Michael Keaton. No, for old Bruce Wayne.
Old Bruce Wayne, yeah.
Like since because Kevin Conroy voiced Batman or Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond the original. So I mean, yes, obviously we can't have Kevin Conroy anymore. So
we have
I would
AI.
say go with don't do AI. Like do I mean what do you think we are? Ginger Greek? Come on. I mean but like I think maybe to appease some of the fans and like making it a good make Michael Keaton, because everybody wants Michael Keaton to play that older version of Batman, and what we got in the Flash was not what we wanted. So
I wanted Thomas Wayne, but yeah, they were two.
And the guy that did Into the Spider-Verse that will be doing this, which was fucking phenomenal, or one of the people that worked on Into the Spider-Verse, which was incredible, like visually stunning as well. So James Gunn will be stupid not to greenlight this.
But that's what I think. I think James Gunn might go for it if it gets to him, because eventually, because he's a fan. Like he is really a fan.
Yeah.
And I think he will greenlight the more kind of like obscure things. Like I felt like he's been like big into Swamp Thing. He's been big into like Bizigal, big into the Green Lantern cause. He's big into the stuff that Marvel should be doing. And I think that's the way that DC is going to be successful. If it does things that Marvel isn't doing. If it focuses on the obscure kind of like things that Marvel isn't doing. If it's focused on like horror genre.
Marvel's doing the obscure, dude. What are you on about?
No, it isn't. It's doing blood. Marvel's doing blood shit. That's what it's doing. If DC takes a risk, it might fall a couple of times. It'll do better. Trust me.
Batman Beyond is not a risk.
The problem with Marvel is they're picking characters that nobody gives a shit about, but because they're of a diverse background, they want to bring that to the forefront. It's like, okay, that's cool, but the problem is you're picking the ones that are just not interested. But now that you got X-Men, oh my god, there are so many toys to fucking play with these mutants, and I'll be pissed off if Marvel just focuses on the same goddamn roster as always, which I do want to see that roster, but you have spin-offs, you have TV shows where that can focus on all the obscure mutants, and there are so many diverse backgrounds, and I'd like to see ones that don't fucking take place in America, that take place in Egypt, that take place in the Congo, that take place around with Wakanda involved in all this kind of stuff. Like there's just so much to play with. But the one thing I like about Gunn, but he hasn't done it well yet, is he did it with Guardians, is that he likes the obscure characters. And that's like me. That's why I love Great Lakes Avengers and like the Initiative and all this, because it was
I honestly feel like Gunn would have done a great Great Lakes Avengers movie. I honestly feel like
he would have. It would have fit in with his sense of humor as well, and I think he would have done a great Great Lakes Avengers film. It just they overlooked it. As long as we can ignore She-Hulk's Mr. Immortal, then they can still make it. And it'll be really good because it's right up their alley. They like all the comedy stuff.
The Mr. Immortal that comes in Great Lakes Avengers would be Mr. Immortal Junior. There we go. Or the one in She-Hulk, Mr. Immortal Senior. So the one that comes in, the actual one is Junior. Like wasn't that what they were saying? Who was it? Somebody and I forget. Somebody was supposed to be a senior because the character was older, but Lex Luthor from DC. Remember, they're like, oh, Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luger. Now I sound like Zam. Lex Luthor Jr. and then Lex Luthor Sr. is actually like the bald one. And I'm like, guys, like you're really giving Snyder way too much credit here. Like, don't do that.
Yeah,
I will say this for good so far.
I think they're going to be doing a Plastic Man. Vance, they'll be working on a Plastic Man.
I will say this for good so far. He's got the casting more or less bang on right with the casting he's done so far.
I know. I don't mostly white cast. I love it.
Nicholas Hoult, great cast as Lex Luthor. Flaming. The guy who cast as Superman, great.
David Corenswit.
Yeah, Rachel Brosnan, she'll be great as Lois Lane. So far, everything just smashing it out of the park, and it's just like, okay.
Because they look like they do in the fucking comics, which it's such a refreshing concept. I know how horrible. Of course, you sometimes get an actor that'll smash out of the park and you don't care, but I love seeing
actress as well.
And that's the one area. But again, he needs to cut back on the fucking jokes, and using bloody classical music where
just so you guys I gotta step out though, so
all right, Chico.
But you guys, I'll be listening on Twitch. Anyone else who's watching on YouTube, I'll throw a link in Twitch. Watch us on Twitch because we're trying to get monetized over there, and the only way we're going to do that is if people watch us on Twitch as well to get our average viewers up. So love all of you, here on YouTube, but if you can have an extra browser open with us on Twitch, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Yes, nice one, Cheeto. Well said.
Okay. All right, bye, guys.
Listen to Cheeto.
See you, mate.
Bye, Cheeto. One of the things that I actually wanted to slightly disagree with you on, Ginger, is that you mentioned regarding some of these Marvel characters not being that great. I think the fact that I think that's irrelevant. I think the execution is what was important regarding these shit Marvel characters. I mean, all these B-list, C-list, D-list.
Isn't them shit?
Marvel character. No. I used the wrong word. I admit they're not shit. They're just lower rated Marvel characters, and they can be interesting to watch if the execution's a lot better. But unfortunately, the execution from a lot of this Disney stuff is so fucking bubblegum that it's always going to be shit.
Yeah, just wank. But the figures as well. If we give Echo, for example, what could have been and what we got is unacceptable. You know what I mean? And Secret Invasion, what we got and what could have been was unacceptable. It was just
I would say Ms. Marvel as well, like the clandestine. I mean, like the cultural stuff was cool, but
they were too focused on patting themselves on the back with the fucking cultural stuff when they forgot to just tell a good story and direct a good like fucking show. They were just like, hey, look, we've got the cultural stuff in there. That's great. That's enough. But it's like, no, that stuff was lovely, but you forgot to tell a good story. You forgot to have compelling villains. You forgot to just do something good. You just churned it out there because you thought, woohoo, pats on the back. You know, and that conversation is important because it's come back to bite Disney on the arse. And it's just like you've done more damage with inclusivity than you've done good. And congratulations on that. Because if you'd done it well, nobody would be giving a fuck. They'd just be like, oh, it's another MCU show. It's going to be awesome. Let's watch. But now it's just like, fuck it. There's no point.
Yeah, and it's giving those assholes flaming like bullets of they're going to do is Hollywood is woke shit. It's just like fuck off. I mean the thing is that I'm just hoping that Green Lantern Corps comes around. It's John Stewart.
It is going to be John Stewart. It's John Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan.
Fine.
Yeah, True Detective.
Fucking enough. Sorry, that was still pissing me off. Sorry. It should be in space.
I'm waiting to see how it pans out because I'm hoping, even though they say it's set on Earth, I'm hoping, keep my finger confirmed for some space shit, maybe here or there, little bits. You never know. You know what I mean?
In space, it would have just been fucking awesome. You know what I mean? I love that shit.
Quick comment here from Rick B. Sorry,
I was just about to put that up. You do it. That's fine.
Now, I personally was going to do it, but I couldn't because I couldn't find any work after the stream that would make me then be eligible to not work tomorrow morning. So I have to work tomorrow morning, which means I can't do the watch along. But I'm not sure if Ginger
I'll
or
be doing it.
capable.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah, I've never said tomorrow morning. I'll probably have a nap and then I'm all yours, baby.
9:30 a.m. Circumcise my member, live from Perth, Australia.
It'd be nice to watch live wrestling in the morning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
and the Yanks, they got it. Sorry, boss man. The Yanks have got it like in Hawaii, like 12 a.m., which isn't too bad. But on the east coast of America, they got it at 5 a.m. That's when it starts. And I know, I can feel it that within America, there's some entitled motherfuckers who can't grasp why the show has to be at that time of day, but they're too stupid. They are Americans, but they'll probably wish that that the show should start at a normal time for them and crack of dawn for fucking Australians because they are Americans. I guarantee it. Look on Reddit. I'm sure there's some cunts like that.
Hey, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Right.
As you were going to say.
I was going to say, right. Are we moving on? Because I wanted to talk about. Did you guys watch my Borderlands trailer review? What a piece of shit that looks like. I'm sorry.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. It is Guardians of the fucking Galaxy.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy with Tank Girl and Mad Max. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
It's all three of those fucking. It looks fucking awful. The fact that they've got age inappropriate characters as well, like the extended cast, they look more like the characters from the game, but the main cast look nothing like the characters from the fucking game. And that's what's really frustrating. I know very little about the game.
Is a little person, right? A midget. Or whether the terminology
is. The Kevin Hart character, he's playing a guy who's like over 6 foot and built like a brick shit house. But Kevin Hart is under 6 foot, and even though he's a little bit swell, he's not like Mr. Universe, And Kate Blanchett's character is a person who should be in her 20s. Jamie Lee Curtis's character is a person who should be in her 20s, but no, they're played by fucking middle-aged and pensioner types. It's I mean, Kate Blanchett's I think in her 50s, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis is in her 70s. You know what I mean?
No, 60s, I think.
Well, still, they're old. You know what I mean? And
they're older than the roles are portrayed, but it's all right. I mean, fucking Jamie Lee Curtis is just brilliant in anything. She's awesome, princess.
Okay, if you step outside, and in my position, I haven't seen these other movies. I've not played these video games, and I just look at the promo for what it is. It looks very entertaining to me. I don't know how old these characters should be, but I love Blanchett. I like Jamie Lee Curtis. Hate hard, can't stand him, but I loved how the scenes looked. I liked the style the women were, their hair, everything. It looked cool to me. I enjoyed it. I look forward to watching it.
Well,
So,
I think that's it.
I'm
It's people that
unbiased.
don't know about it. Yeah, people that don't know anything about Borderlands. And I don't know much about Borderlands. I couldn't stand the fucking game. The constant quipping and bollocks just did my nut in that. But yeah, for people that don't understand it, they see that and they're just like, yeah, this seems like a good time to the cinema, which is fine. And, you know, you don't want to like this film's been in development hell. It's been in production since 2018, and it's only now coming out. There's been a lot of issues.
5-6 years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's been in development hell for ages, and there was issues, scripts, reshoots, Eli Roth coming in, then leaving, and then somebody else, and all this kind of shit. Or Eli Roth came in after the other director left. There was also clashes with I forget the guy's name, Randy something, who was the creator of Borderlands. He's an absolute ass of a human being.
Randy, what's his name? What's it?
Not
The guy
human.
the guy who left porn in fame in the strip club. That guy. What's his name now?
Yeah, that's it. The guy who's got an obsession with doing magic tricks on stage, and then he got exposed as
David
a complete
Blaine.
No, Randy.
Huh?
Yeah.
No. Randy. His name's Randy something. He's a game
Pitchford.
designer.
Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford. That's it. And he's a complete ass. So obviously he
CEO
clashed
of Gearbox. That's
videos.
what he is.
Yeah, that's it. And
I don't care
so there was a
how
lot of
old the
production hell.
female character is supposed to be. If Kate Blanchett does the role justice, who cares what age she is or
don't
the
care about
character?
Look. Sorry, Chris, but earlier on, Penny, you were happy regarding the new Superman film having people who fitted the comics, and the characters. Well, this is the same shit. Yeah, people want people who are similar to the characters in the game.
Enough. I'm not. Listen,
You know what I mean?
if you're a fan of the franchise, and you want it how, I'm not going to argue against that.
And
I'm
don't get me wrong,
always-
Chris, you're really lucky because you don't play the Borderland game. But for the people who they made this game, because lots of people do, millions of people do, and that's why this film was created to cater for them. And it's lucky you're lucky that that this shit doesn't concern you, but it does for a lot of people who play the game, and they really want more authenticity. And so in a way, I can understand their grievances.
Well, again, I love the games. I love the games, right? And the thing is, Kate Blanchett, fine, right? Because she's a great actress. Jamie Lee Curtis can see it like an older sort of matriarchal figure. But Jack fucking Black is flaming cataract. Get the fuck out of here.
Everyone had an issue with that. They wanted the original voice actor.
Yeah, I was the original voice actor. And
but he
flaming
left.
Kevin
He
Hart
got
is supposed to be flaming the gunner type. Get to fuck. The guy's a midget.
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible casting. It's like it's not the best. Like I love Jamie Lee Curtis. Like Kate Blanchett, I fucking could take her or leave her, depending on the role she's in. But as Hela, I couldn't stand her. In this, she's kind of playing the same kind of irritating character, and all of that.
I was
But
Jenny Ortega to play her character. That's a sort of like age appropriate person. And
she wasn't legal at the time when they cast these people, though.
Oh,
That's
really?
the thing. Jenny
Yeah,
was like a teenager. She could have played Tina.
or somebody who could pull off somebody in their 20s, like Jennifer Lawrence or something like that.
Saoirse Ronan.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, she.
No,
she
but
would
as
be
I
a
said,
good choice.
as I said, that doesn't bother me. It's just the humor's very Guardian of the Galaxy, and Borderlands didn't have that sense of humor. Its sense of humor is very particular. And look, and again, for some people, it runs the wrong way. Like, for example, Ginger Greek. I particularly liked the Borderlands sense of humor because it was unique, but it's not Guardians of the fucking Galaxy humor.
It was edgy wannabe crap. I couldn't stand it. It's up James Gunn's alley. Don't forget, James Gunn, when he did Suicide Squad, it was that kind of sense of humor, similar to Borderlands, just absolute dog shit. And like Vance says, by 3, it's just that formula had kind of run out, and it's too try hard. We've seen it with so many other games, and this film is a PG-13 as well. So
it should be 18. Should be 18.
Should have been an 18, yeah.
Because the game is fully bloody as hell. You get to blow people's limbs off. You got monsters that want to rip your face off. You should have all that shit.
I think kids are gonna like this film, though. That's the thing. I think kids.
Oh God.
People that kind of don't know the franchise will probably like this film, even if it doesn't get good reviews. But for me, it's just it's just another generic.
Now that it's PG-13, though, I didn't know it was PG-13. That's too bad because I really like the look of it, and I really like the fact that they did cast women in their 50s and 60s that were strong women, and could look like they could kick ass in that particular character's roles.
Yes,
I was looking forward to it, but now PG-13.
Chris,
Well,
it
Jamie
looks like
up Halloween did, didn't it? So she's believable.
it looks like a fucking live action cartoon, so I'm not surprised it's a fucking PG. I mean,
yeah.
I thought it was the Diwali Festival of Color, all those fucking things going on
Well,
there.
I mean, it's very colourful, kind of.
Yeah, the game itself is very colourful.
Yeah, it's very colourful,
no
so I
doubt.
can understand that aesthetic. That's kind of fine. Remains to be seen. It'll probably flop, if we're being honest. It's one of those that'll just be gone, come and go. Because again, when they cast Kevin Hart at the time, he was hot shit. But now nobody can fucking stand him anymore.
Well, he was in that one movie. I saw that heist movie. I forgot the name of it now.
Left.
It's on the left, yeah. And he did play a character who was against the stereotype characters he tends to play, which was refreshing. But even though I found it very hard for me to see him as anything else, I did finally accept him whilst watching that film. That he's a smooth, suave, sophisticated, thinks on his feet, type of person who's also a master thief. So he was. It was good to see him in something like that. It really was. Because he wasn't playing an idiot for once in his life.
Yeah, normally he bounces up and down like a jackhammer, and his eyes open. Like that's how every role, except for that one.
And and there was the one he did with Bryan Cranston, which was a remake of an awesome French film. I can't remember what it was called, but he played a very serious role in that. But again, with Kevin Hart, I love his stand-up. His stand-up cracks me the fuck up. I'll watch his stand-up because it's very self-deprecating and funny, but I can't watch anything he's in. It's the same with The Rock. Like The Rock being back in WWE, I love it. It was like, my childhood just kind of returned. I say my childhood, my adulthood, early adulthood. As a heel, exactly, Zan. Hey, Merry Christmas. But I can't watch a film with Dwayne in it because it's just the same old piss.
Jesus Christ!
God damn.
Mute your mic.
Sorry.
Yeah, you clean your mic as well by the sounds of things.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, can I go on a bit of a rant? Can I go on a bit of a rant now?
Yeah.
No, then.
Yes, it is.
Right, I've been watching the Avatar: The Last Airbender. What a piece of fucking shit, right? The anime is fucking brilliant, right? It does it does what a good series should do, which is relays information to you as the characters see it. Now what they're doing is they're front loading it. It literally has that scene, in front of Menace, where they go to the Jedi headquarters. And Anakin's there going, how do you feel? Coulter. They literally replicate that fucking scene. That did my fucking head in. And then you see it has the Fire Nation attacking. It's like, you don't see the Fire Nation fucking attacking. He comes across it because he realizes that his head disappearing was what caused their deaths. And that causes him to explode, and that causes him to go to the Avatar state. I didn't even watch the fucking series, Sorry. I'm pissed off, sorry.
Well, you know what Netflix is like with adapting fucking shows like that. They shit, but people will love it. Like again, I think the general consensus with this Avatar show is like it's okay. Whereas people loved One Piece. Well, I fucking hated One Piece. I thought it was absolute pile of shit.
Not seen it, don't want to watch it.
Don't watch it. It's awful.
Avatar the anime
Absolutely
is brilliant. This is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Netflix needs to just give up, adapt.
There's some
live
worlds
action.
and laws. Some worlds and laws I just can't be asked to get invested in. I'm glad I never got invested into Avatar, the last fucking ass bender, as you would say.
The only good thing with Avatar is it's only 60 episodes compared to like One Piece, which is over 1,000. Yeah, I mean, I've never bothered with Avatar either, so that's why I'm not bothered with the live action series. I don't give a shit. It was I wasn't watching much TV then.
As we're talking TV shows, season 2, episode 4, I've done a review, 1 minute review. So for YouTube Shorts and TikTok, is Halo season 2, episode 4, which was phenomenal. Honestly, it finally started being the Halo that everybody fucking wants, because you're getting this war, or the Covenant are in it. Flood, I think the Flood is going to be something that will be is like a season or 2 ahead if they ever go that far. But at the moment now, like the battle between the USNC, which is the humans basically, and the Covenant, you really see it in this episode. Like they are attacking this planet called Reach, and when you see them attacking the planet, and they have cloaking technology like the Predator and shit like that, and oh man, it was just so good. Like you got that war feel, like we're having war here. There's war going on, and really good episode. And I'm hoping, and like when the episode ended, like the battle didn't feel like it finished. And war is also what I said in my review. War is chaos. Just because you think this little firefight is over doesn't mean you can take a breather, because so much other shit's happening at the same time. Is this consistently fighting and stuff like that? It was so good. And main characters, like supporting characters, they died in this episode. Not just one, several. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit, this person's dead, this person's dead, this person's dead. What the fuck? You know, like I've been watching these guys since the fucking beginning, and now it's all these different. In this one episode, they did that. You know, which was credit to them. It was really good, and I'm really, I think a lot of people, they really want to bat for this series because it's fucking Halo. You know what I mean? And they gave their grievances after watching season 1, and we're hoping that season 2 is a lot better. And so far, it has been. It has been. You know what I mean?
I can't be asked to get back into it. I gave up with season 1. I'm not going to bother with season 2. But for the fans of the game, the franchise, then I hope it. Yeah, I hope it does well because they win. I never really got into Halo. I think I got into it from the 3 or 4, which was all right. You know, the main story was good, but the online stuff was crap.
I played the first few games. I played the first few. One of the good things about those games was like some of the moments and set pieces, and the music as well. It felt great. Yeah, it really felt great. You know, there was some but episode 4, good stuff. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to episode 5 now. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Quantum Leap season 2 ended, and fucking hell, what a great show that was.
Yeah, you saw that. I told you guys, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What
I
they
did
did
not
with
see that twist coming.
What with the whole season, and we're gonna be going spoilers here. I hope people don't mind.
I don't care. I don't know. What show are you talking about? Quantum Leap?
Quantum Leap, the new Quantum Leap season 2, the finale. But the way this season began, like I did not see this journey to the finale of season 2. It was phenomenal. Like and you do see Ben doing his usual Sam Beckett type stuff of resolving a mission and leaping. But one of the things that happened this season, Ginger, was he kept bumping into the same person at different timelines, and this person knew who Ben was, that he was a time traveler, and he was inhabiting different bodies, and they started to fall in love. But he would meet this person every 5, 6, 7 years later on. So it starts off when she's just a young lady, and he realizes that this young lady is a brilliant woman, and she should be more than just a waitress. at a coffee shop. She should be a scientist, and he encourages her to follow that dream. And as he meets her at different time periods, she has followed that dream, and she's become a quantum physicist. And she helps him with an equation that will possibly get Ben back home. But at the same time, this woman has a son with another guy, and he realizes that Ben's a time traveler, and then he ends up taking over the Quantum Leap program in the present day. And he has an axe to grind against Ben, but he believes that Ben was the person who helped kill his father. And that wasn't the case. Ben was trying to save his father. So Ben then has to try to appeal to this woman's young son as a kid to change his ways, so he will change his ways in the present day and not become this asshole who's trying to shut down the Quantum Leap program. It's fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? You know, it's so good. It's so good.
Because the thing is that his fiance basically has ended up, because he's been gone for like 5 years.
3 years.
No, 5 years. I thought it was 5 years.
No, it was 3 years, but it felt one day for him. But at the end of season 1 to beginning of season 2, he's been gone for 3 years. In the present day, they haven't not seen him for 3 years. So his fiance in the present day has moved on to somebody else. So it gave Ben an opportunity to find a different love interest himself, which was this woman he kept meeting every few years as he was time traveling. And
check this comment. I don't know. Is it anything? Same gag as the original.
It's just as woke as the original series, which dealt with issues of bigotry, misogyny, racism, discrimination, disabled discrimination, and all of these sort of things. Even cruelty to animals. The original series did all of that because at some point Sam was a disabled guy. He was a monkey. He was a guy who's had Down syndrome. He was a guy who lost his legs. He played a woman. He played a black woman. He felt all of these things at one point. Sam did. He felt discrimination. He played a black man. There was one episode where he actually played a Klansman. So he was on the opposite side because he was always playing black people who were being affected by the Klan. But this time he played a Klansman. So that was all of that sort of stuff. So yes, it's got the same wokeness as the original series, which is great. And it deals with more modern day issues as well. Like with one character in one episode, she was non-binary. And she never really realized what it meant to be non-binary because this episode was set in the 50s. Because Ben is from the future, from the present or our present day, he understood what this person was and tried to explain non-binaryism, if there's such a term, to this person. And it was really well executed the way they did that. It's so great. And trans issues and homosexuality and stuff like that. These are all modern day issues, all modern day things that would have probably come up in the Scott Bakula version of Quantum Leap. But it's now coming up in this one because it's still dealing with these issues that of discrimination that the previous show did.
Sorry, I had to go get wood. I've run out of propane, so that's why I rushed off earlier because I had to phone the propane company. They're going to come tomorrow morning, but I just had to go outside and get wood for the fire, so I'm out of breath. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, so it just the way it deals with different issues, like it deals with romance, it deals with love, like the fact that she's moved on to she's engaged to somebody else, and he seems like a really nice guy. The fact that he tells her that he can't have her as his hologram anymore because he needs to have time to get over her. That's such a powerful moment when he tells her that because he wants to honor how she feels. Because there's a moment when he's with another guy and he's still in love with his ex-wife, and his ex-wife has basically moved on to be with another guy, and she's like, "Well, we just didn't work out, and you got to remember that we finished because you couldn't commit to us, and now someone else can." And this guy had to live with it, and that's it was such a mature way of doing it because he could have half-assed it. He could have just had the Hollywood of, "Oh, of course, I've always loved you," and all this stuff. He didn't do that. He actually did the more complicated, I'm sorry, I'm in love with somebody else and I'm with them now. You had your chance.
But yeah, she did that, but she still ended up then dumping that guy, and she wanted to get back with Ben. And I'll be honest with you,
No. I'm talking about the episode. What I'm talking about, where it's the actor. I can't remember what the actor's name was.
Hannah and Ben.
Yeah, not Hannah.
Yeah,
Addison. No, it was the actor. There was the actor that he was like the assistant of. He was still in love with his ex-wife, and his ex-wife said to him, "Oh, I'm in love with this other guy. I married him. You need to move on." And basically, he ended up.
I think I remember that. that.
Yeah. But no, like the other bit, where she ended up dumping. Yeah, I didn't like that because it's like she'd moved on physically. She was ready to have a relationship.
Yeah, I thought she moved on, and it didn't feel organic enough. I think the only I didn't think they executed that moment well in the series. You know, it didn't feel right. But other than that, though, like the relationship between Ben and Hannah, which started off a little bit romantic, but it became platonic, but in a way that they genuinely cared for each other. Like she knew that this guy was a time traveler inhabiting other people's bodies, and she would meet him every few years, and she wanted to make sure that she got Ben home. She genuinely cared for him because she improved her life by making her follow science, you know, and not becoming this coffee waitress that she could have been if it wasn't for Ben. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a great series, and then the ending with Addison getting this code from Hannah and using it to swap places with Ben, but instead of swapping places with Ben, she ends up with Ben in the past, and it looked like it was like the French War. It looked like the World War II in France or something like that. It looked like that sort of setting. I couldn't really tell, but wow, what a way to possibly begin season 3 with 2 time travelers. And you can imagine the sort of scenarios and settings, boss man, because one person, like maybe Addison, could be in the body of a man and Ben's in the body of a woman, or maybe one person's a cop and one person's a criminal, but they're both inhabiting those bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. You know, maybe one person's a stalker and one person's a victim, and now they've all both inhabited those bodies, you know, and something like that, or prison guard and prison warden, or something like that. You know, it could be all types of shenanigans that could happen in the future, you know, and they have to resolve an issue together as a duo time traveler. I love the concept because it's putting a twist on it, and they're together. Seeing them hold hands was great as well.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
And it was. And also, I'd say what also was great was that Jen died and then she comes back, and then the way that Addison, because Addison's actually could be a bit ropey sometimes, but her performance in that was great.
Well, when Jennifer died, I knew that she'll come back if they change the timeline and do the ripple effect in the present day. I knew that she would come back alive. Did you think that?
Oh yeah.
And obviously Addison, knowing that the time had changed because she was in the chamber, but everyone else, they got affected by the ripple, so they don't realize that time has changed.
Okay, if you guys want to do a Quantum Leap podcast, do a Quantum Leap podcast.
We're almost done here. TLD, do you think God will be at the end of the? Well, look personally, the addition of God and the devil in the old series was a really stupid concept, in my opinion. I think they were like clutching for ideas when they did that, and I really, really didn't like it. I hope they don't do that again. They barely ever covered Lothos, evil computer, in the reboot, which was part of Ziggy at the yeah. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of happy that they don't.
All right, let's change. Yeah.
All right, so I'm dying to get on to. No, I'm dying to get on to my man,
Jesse Lee.
JLP, baby. Yeah, Jesse. Yeah, Jesse Lee.
I actually didn't know who he was until recently, and now I regret knowing who he is.
He is a dickhead. if unfortunately, and I'm going to sound kind of
If,
shit
Black,
to say
if,
this.
if Black Wolf was black, that's what he'd be.
No, he is Uncle Tom. You know what I mean? He is Uncle Tom personified. You know what I mean? I've never known a black guy to hate black people as much as he does and love white people as much as he does. You know, it's incredible. You know, and not just that, he despises women, he hates women. You know, and constantly calls people beta. If you listen to a woman, you're a beta, and all of that shit. But he's also, people have found out in the past, definitely a closeted homosexual. And David Pakman has said that when he interviewed Jesse Lee Peterson, how handsy Jesse Lee Peterson was with him. And he only kind of realized, this was before the revelations of him being possibly him being gay and all these other men coming out saying that Jesse Lee tried it on with them and stuff like that. So this was before the revelations, but now David Pakman looking back at that situation, that moment, realizes that he was handsy because he's a bit touchy feely and all of that sort of shit. But let's just check this.
He was literally putting out feelers.
Yeah, literally. So this is from Ethan Klein, who does the H3 podcast. He was having Jesse Lee Peterson on his show. I've clipped it from here. Let's watch it.
Part of what you talk about is the man's role.
Why do you call that good?
What? It's the parent's role to stay at home and be at home and be present in their children's lives and to show them love and compassion.
And why do you call that good?
You're right. It is evil.
Why do you call it good?
No, you're right. It is evil to kiss your bed.
I never said it was evil. I never said it was evil, but you said it was good, but you won't tell me why you call it good.
I just did.
Why?
Because it's nice to be nice to your kids.
Does niceness mean good?
Well, I think, if we're using words in any way as defined, then yes, nice does mean good.
And how's that?
Oh, come on. Let me ask you a question.
Dictionary.
You're filibustering me.
No, I'm not. You never did answer the question of why do you call that good? Does your wife obey you?
My wife and I, we make decisions together, so I wouldn't use the word obey.
Does your wife obey you?
If something made me uncomfortable and I expressed that to her, she would probably respect my wishes, depending on what it was. But yeah, she obeys me.
Does your wife obey you?
I just said yes, she does obey me.
Amazing.
So alpha. Oh, Jesse, let me ask you: does your wife obey you?
He doesn't have a wife.
No.
Beta. Got you again.
Amazing.
Got you again. Let me ask you a question.
I don't have a wife. That's why she doesn't obey you.
That's beta, though.
Beta. No, it's not.
Oh, come now.
No.
Why isn't being a single man beta?
I didn't say it was.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
When?
Yes, you did. I said.
Well, he didn't. He just said he wasn't married.
Let me ask you another question. There's a paradox with the gay thing that it's kind of maybe obvious to some, but I do like to question people on this. If God made us, did God make us perfect? Did God make us, is God perfect? Let's start there.
God is perfect and he made us perfect.
So then why are people gay?
Because they've been turned away from God by turning them away from their earthly father.
Did God create the universe and everything in it?
He did.
So then God is the one steering them away from being straight.
No, Satan is through the mother.
But he created Satan. He, as all-powerful God, he controls Satan.
Right.
So then he's the one tempting people to be gay. God.
No.
Where was I wrong in the logic?
The whole thing, I just told you, no, it's not from God, it's from evil.
No, but God created evil. God created evil.
Right. Well, God created Satan, and yes, through Satan, evil comes.
So God, this is part of God's plan, is to turn men gay.
I don't know what you got with this gay thing, but
Well, this
I'm
is
telling
something
you
you talk a
no.
lot. Jesse, you
I'm
talk a
telling
lot
you
about
no,
gay
that
people.
is not. I'm telling you no. God created us perfectly, and when you return to the Father, you will overcome your old nature that is made of anger, and you will return to your natural nature that's made of
Oh, it's
good,
real, Theo.
which is the nature of God. But you gotta overcome anger. And the way that for those who might be listening, one or two in your crowd that's listening that want to overcome, I'm talking to them because I know most people love their hell, and they love the hell that they live in, and they love imposing their hell on others.
So
and they
speak to them, reach out to them.
But those who want to overcome it, I want them to know is that they have to overcome anger. And when you overcome anger, you must forgive your mother for imposing her will on you, trying to live through you, control you, turning you away from your father. And forgive your father for not protecting you. He loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with your mother. And when fathers leave, they don't leave their children. They leave the mother of the children, but the mother makes the children think that the father leave them. And so for those who want to overcome fear and doubt and loneliness, suicidal thoughts, the gay, lesbian, drug addicts, alcoholics,
He put all of that in the
pot
same
smoking,
category.
all these
Everybody
things
got that?
the
Good.
emotional stuff, they can truly overcome that if they forgive their mothers for turning them away from
Jesse,
their father.
would it surprise you if I told you I'm 15% gay?
Neither it wouldn't surprise me, and neither would I care. That's your problem, not mine.
15%. Is that better than 100%? Jesse, don't make it seem like I'm bringing it up out of nowhere. You talk about gayness all the time.
I talk about everything all the time.
Well,
My show is about whatever. My radio show is about whatever the people call in for. And the Father State, we deal with different issues.
Can you
But do you have are you able to move on because of time? Do you have
No, I have all the time
topic?
in the world, but I understood you only had an hour, right?
Right, and I'm talking about my time.
So how much time do you have left? Because
And the gay thing is a rare topic on my show.
yeah. So let me ask you this: you are not gay, right?
That's not your business.
Oh, but you make the gayness a lot of people's business when you
No, I don't.
discuss
I
their.
make it no one's business. Do you want to act like a
Do you
man?
live in
or
hell?
Do you want to act?
Do you
talk
live in
like a
hell?
man, or do you want to? Hey, look. I put aside my time. I thought you wanted to deal with issues to help folks.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because I don't
Yes.
want to play the woman's game with you.
So, well, let me ask you this because I know
Do you have any other topic? One last time, you can talk to your brother-in-law Moses about this, and he'll help you deal with that and overcome it.
Sure. Jesse, why did you like this? Why did you like
or
this
for-
tweet by Your Daddy
Or
OnlyFans?
forgive your mother. Forgive your mother.
Give it a thumbs
and
up.
she will.
Jesse, why
I
did
have
you
no-
like this post from Your Daddy OnlyFans, part 2 with Sean Boy UK?
I have no idea
It's
what that
two
is.
men kissing,
I have no idea.
and they're
what that
muscular
is.
and very
This guy
bear-like.
lied to me
They
about
really think that you're like running your Twitter and stuff. Like,
it. I have no idea. what you're
Really?
talking
Amazing.
Wait, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be running your Twitter?
about. So why did you?
you really think he would?
Are you?
what-
is
Why
the
do you think he
producer?
is? What makes you think he is?
Oh, so did you like it? Yeah, did you like it? Are
Was
you
that-
gay?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Bro thought he was cooking
Well,
right
Jesse,
there.
this is important. The people want to know.
Let me.
Your producer got real quiet. What did he like the gay porn?
Self-report.
It was one of you two. Someone fess up.
They're hanging up.
Someone fess up.
That's what you want me to do, so you can say I ran. But you guys said you wanted to talk about real stuff.
This is real,
put my-
man.
Jesse,
this is a real
aside-
tweet that was liked.
I
Jesse-
really set aside
Jesse,
time to
an
be on
expose
your show,
by the
but I
Daily
had-
Beast, they
I
said that
had-
several men had sexual encounters with you, some as long as 10 years. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Say hello to Moses, buddy. I'm out.
All right.
Was your producer?
Oh, he hung up.
Oh God, he made me
Well,
dumber.
you tried. That was funny.
Damn, he does that.
He really hates gay people, like really hates gay people. He kind of, I think he got a sniff of what we were doing when I mentioned something about gayness in the top. It's so funny. All of a sudden, he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like a good 30% of everything he discusses
Yes.
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
gayness, women are evil.
All right, I think that's a good place to stop. So that, so if you don't know who Jesse Lee Peterson is, well, you do now. And this guy, he likes to talk to people, even on his side of the political spectrum. But he'll have a couple, and there'll be a man and a woman, and he'll just rip the shit out of the woman, telling the man, "Is your wife subservient to you?" and stuff like that. And this woman would just be taking it, even though she's been belittled by fucking Jesse Lee Peterson, because they'll believe in God and shit like that. But he then talks about gayness now and again, and he's obviously very interested in talking about gayness all the time because he himself is in the closet. There's been allegations against him regarding how other
it's an
men
open secret.
Yeah, it's an open secret and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's obviously being, and it's a real shame because when it comes to homophobia and and bigotry, stuff like that, you look at people like Mike Johnson, who's a Speaker of the House, and all of this stuff. He's obviously more bent than Uri Geller's spoons. But regardless, you know what I mean? But regardless of all of that, yeah, it's unfortunate that the very people who are oppressing gay people are closeted, the gay people who are also in denial, like Jesse Lee Peterson, like Mike Johnson, people like that.
Because they're so weak that they can't handle it themselves. They have to oppress others and harm others just because they can't handle their own life. They've got to ruin other people's lives by installing laws, spreading lies.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
I think that I just became stupider by hitting that. But to be honest with you.
The beginning. Oh my God. What does good mean? What do you mean by good? What do you mean by nice?
He does that. That's how he does that. He does his shit like that. He's always,
It's filibustering. It's gaslighting. It's all that kind of shit. So explain yourself. I fucking explained myself. Are you deaf? He only responded when he got the right answer that he wanted.
Throw a dictionary at him and just say, "Look it up, bitch."
Yeah.
You don't know what nice is? What grade did you graduate?
But unfortunately, he's got a lot of people who follow him. He's very much. There's a lot of people who follow his shtick. They love him for what he is. They love the fact that he's a proper Uncle Tom like as well, because he really thinks black people are stupid. He has said it himself. They're not capable of doing certain things. And
if he's any evidence, then because he's dumb.
Yeah, he
not
is
that
dumb.
I think. Not that I think black people are stupid. Just him.
No, it also is a misogynistic prick because he was I think he had like some female professor from some university in America, right? And he was basically asking her, saying, "Why should women be believed about the sexual assault?" I'm like, right? Yes, some women lie, but majority of them don't. That's why they need to be believed. And you investigate every claim seriously, but fairly. That's the way you do it. And this woman was in perfect fucking shock. I was like, oh, for heaven's sake.
Well, he's an idiot, and it shows but the way Ethan Klein handled him was beautiful. I have to admit, like I've seen a lot of people debate him. I've seen Hassan debate him. I've seen various people debate him. Certain atheists as well from the atheist community I've seen in the past. What's the name of that girl with the red hair?
Rebecca Watson.
No, she had a kid recently. She was a Christian who turned atheist. Something Glenn, Jacqueline Glenn, or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
Jacqueline Glenn.
Yeah.
She's a fucking twat. Sorry.
Well, look, she's not everyone's cup of tea, but I don't think she's that bad, But look, some people you get disagreements with, but
she is to atheism what Jesse Lee Peterson is to Christianity. Let's put it that way.
Well, but still, she debated Jesse Lee.
She was a thought. That's what she was.
But the point is, she debated him. David Pakman's debated him. Hassan debated him. A few atheists have debated him. Destiny debated him. Vosh has debated him. But the way Ethan Klein handled him was probably the best.
Yeah.
Just treat him like a piece of shit because he's an idiot and he doesn't deserve to be debated with. He deserves to just be
What?
Attacked because his rhetoric is fucking dangerous. And what you do is you throw everything back in his face at him. That's the best way to approach these people because look how they handle it. Remember what happened with Stephen Crowder? Fucking, he ran his mouth off all the time about Sam Cedar, and so with Ethan, when he thought he was going to debate Ethan, Ethan was like, "Oh, by the way, here's Sam Cedar," and then Sam Crowder shit his pants and ran like a bitch.
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, you ambushed me." So if your arguments are valid, then debate me, bro. But he wouldn't.
Yeah.
It was a fucking coward.
No,
They want
was
to
he-
run their mouth off, but when they're confronted, they just lash out. They all run away. Chris, sorry.
Do you think he was purposely like, because you would ask him, did God make everything? Did he make the devil? Does God know what's going to happen? So is it God doing this? Like, and he kept agreeing with it, but didn't seem to understand that it actually meant he was wrong. Was he doing that on purpose, or is he just stupid?
He's just inconsistent.
He's inconsistent.
Gary's from the streets, man. He's all about that.
Yeah,
vernacular.
I've heard of streets and stuff, haven't
That's right. Exactly. And Letitia James scores victory against the NRA and Wayne Lapierre over tax evasion and lavish spending. Lovely.
Look, this comment here, like that is hilarious. He liked the gay tweet. Not only that, but then his producer tried to chime in by saying, well, you know, he doesn't own his own Twitter account. So then Ethan said, well, to the producer, well, did you like the gay tweet then? And then the producer just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And I'm not defending you anymore now, JLP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're on your own, fool.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Like,
oh yeah,
it was.
Yeah, the thing I like about Ethan, right? He does have his flaws, but what he will do is he will research everything about you to find out. Like he did the same thing with what's he called, that Ollie London guy. He did the same thing with Pearly Things. He did
Ollie
the same
London was
thing.
awesome, yeah, and Pearly Things, yeah, they were great. He'd become a lot better. He'd become a lot better debater over the years. But when it came to Israel Palestine, he shat the bed because he was awful. And him and Hassan, unfortunately, who were good friends, they fell out over that. And this has been a common thing for certain people. You know,
Well, even David Pacman, who should know better, who would be like, you know, logical, shit the bed when it came to Israel Palestine. A lot of people, it's like just this weird brain rot, this cognitive dissonance between
Bill Maher,
yeah, just
Is it
Bill
guilt?
Maher. I'm not surprised. He's a fucking piece of shit human anyway.
Is it guilt or fear of being labeled?
Well, they're Jewish, but he's
no,
Jewish
they're Jewish,
anyway.
and they're just in denial. They don't want to understand the fact that their own people have turned into the very people they escaped in the 1930s and 40s. You know, that the Zionists are no different. And I always use the term Zionist because Zionism to me is no different to Nazism and no different to colonialism. It's the same fucking shit. All right. And it's very important to distinguish that. And that's what we do. When we're talking about Zionists, we just mean the fundamentalist, colonialist wing of the Jewish religion, you know,
or government of Israel.
Government, all that, yeah, you know, they're no different to the fucking Nazis. You know what I mean? They probably beat off to their kind of rhetoric anyway. They love it because that's where it was born out of, the same ideology anyway.
It's also why recently, like, he's not covering Israel Palestine anymore. He's just sticking with the stuff that will get in people. I mean, I look, it's a shame. It bugs me. There's a lot of people who I do like who at times go directions I don't like, and it does upset me. Like what TYT has done in the past, like David Pacman, where there's even Carl Kalinske. Sometimes he really brown noses Joe Rogan, and I love Carl Kalinske. You know what I mean? But you know so nobody. Look, what I've learned is that nobody is going to agree with you on everything. But if you can agree on most things,
yeah, I'm not. You know, for me though, I think with Israel Palestine, that's the limit for me.
Yeah,
that's the
genocide.
Limit. Genocide is the limit. There's no excuse. Like if you saw, before I talk about the events that happened here, Gaz, you wanted to say something, and then I'll come back to me.
No, I was just going to say, like, It's okay to disagree civilly with something unless it's something that is causing lives, as you've seen the Israel-Palestine issue. Well, go ahead, GG. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And Vance agrees with Xanta on everything. Not Zam,
Well,
just
that-
Xanta.
Yeah,
Complete-
Xanta will be and he won't be back for another several months, unfortunately. But yeah, he'll be happy to hear that. That's for sure. And he's listening. He's around.
You know, like the whole Israel-Palestine genocide. Well, the Palestinian genocide. Let's put it that way. You know, it's affected the very core of democracy, even in this country. Like Keir Starmer this week threatened the Speaker of the House to fall in line. To fall in line with Keir Starmer's wishes to not vote for a ceasefire, to not push for a vote on a ceasefire that the SNP were pushing. And even the Tories chimed in and said, "What the fuck are you doing, mate?" And like Keir Starmer, that's what I keep telling people. Okay, Keir Starmer is fucking dangerous. He is nothing to be scoffed at because he's very clever and he knows the system and he knows how to destroy like democracy, basically, how to tear it down and how to go after it. Because no party other than a left-wing party will be infiltrated by anti-democratic people for the sole purpose to crush the left from ever getting into power. And Keir Starmer is fucking dangerous. When he comes into power, he's such a piece of shit that he's not like Boris to be petty and do stupid things. He's going to be ruthless in going after certain people. And he is funded. That party is in the hands of Labour Friends of Israel and the Board of Deputies. They are the biggest far-right Zionist wankers in the UK. And Labour is now basically run by them. And he's showing how anti-democratic it is. The way they've attacked the SNP, the way he's whipping and suspending and fucking getting rid of left-wingers, kicked off more Jews than any other Labour leader, completely lost the Muslim vote because of his stance on Gaza and the way he's treated certain Muslim MPs just because they're left-wing. And he's not something to be scoffed at. He's a real fucking cunt. Gads.
Yeah, I mean, like in the reaction to when that happened in the House of Commons was ridiculous. I mean, like the SNP had literally been tabling it for what it was in their opposition day, so they got to table it for a start. And we had been doing it for like several months, and then flaming Lindsay Hoyle, flaming. I mean, like that's got to be some sort of parliamentary procedure that the House, the leader of the House of Commons, the Speaker of the House of Commons, supersedes an order. And the thing is that the SNP were right to be cross, and a lot of other minority parties were cross as well. Like the Green Party were cross.
Well, it does break parliamentary because there's a conflict of interest there, and that's why they're all voting for a motion of no confidence in him to step down, because he saved, rather than go with what was popular among the people and certain and you know the kind of he saved his own career by aligning with what Keir Starmer wanted, so he has to go. It's a complete conflict of interest. He's compromised, so he needs to fucking go. You can't do that kind of shit as a speaker. You're supposed to go with what is the right thing to do, and he didn't. He saved his own career. He's a complete careerist, so fuck him. Off he goes. So yeah, it's just that's why I have a zero. There are two things I have zero tolerance on: people that talk shit about trans people and people that talk about that are pro-Israel, because it's like you're costing people's lives with that rhetoric, and heads need to roll for this, because this is an insane time we're living in, where we are just sat there and watched how democracy is such a lie across the world, and how the US has a complete fucking monopoly over pretty much every fucking country in whipping them into voting for them. The only ones that aren't are the ones that basically are not with the IMF, that are with BRICS, because they can't be penalized through sanctions. Islands, the island of Spain are like the only fucking two countries that are taking a stance that are in like the EU. It's incredible. And I'm just going to wait and that's probably because the Zionist lobby has no influence in Ireland or Spain. You know, give that time and see what happens. But yeah, that's why. But if you speak out, then the lobbies like APAC, Labour Friends of Israel, Board of Deputies, and all that, they're just going to come after you, and they're going to destroy you, which they've done over here in the UK and in Germany. Fucking Germany's the worst of the lot. Germany's the fucking worst because you can't even protest there. They just come clamping down you. I'm like, oh, how wonderfully democratic of you. And then the far right is like once again on the rise in Germany. So that's going to be fun times. What a great time to live in.
Yeah, it's getting that way. Daniel wants it. Yeah. Unfortunately, with Germany, they don't want to be seen as Nazis again, so they are right up fucking Israel's butthole.
Yep.
And so that's how it is. Even though that's the government, not the people, because Hillary Clinton was in Germany, you know, and there were lots of German citizens who were shitting all over her.
Yeah, and I want to say just again, so I wanted the video I wanted to show. Well, you know, when people always say, "Oh, why can't these countries ever get themselves out of poverty and all these third world countries, all this shit?" I'll give you a prime example, and this one is a good old British Empire in South America and how they ransacked that fucking area. So let me just make sure that that's fine. I'd make sure they weren't showing anything dodgy underneath. And right, I can't full screen that, but you can see that. Oh, hang on.
How that led Bolivia into one of the poorest.
Let me reset that.
The British stole Bolivia's sea, and how that led Bolivia into one of the poorest countries in the Americas. This region of Bolivia was rich in natural resources: nitrate, copper, sodium, and guano, which is bird excrement used as fertilizer. British mine these resources, such as the Antofagasta Nitrate and Railway Company. And despite these being Bolivian resources, these people were getting rich without paying any taxes to Bolivia. So Bolivia decided to start actually collecting the taxes their own. The British Chilean companies refused, and so Bolivia declared the nationalization of these companies. Britain was furious and told Chile they needed to fight back and invade the region, and that the British Empire would fund their whole war effort. 25,000 Bolivians were killed, as well as nearly 3,000 Chileans. For what exactly? Well, Chile needed benefits. After the war, the nitrate fields became a monopoly owned by a Yorkshire capitalist called John Thomas North. And on top of that, Britain then sends Chile a bill for all the military support, leaving the country in massive debt to Britain. Chile sided with imperialism only to get dead soldiers and debt in return. Why is this important? Well, Bolivia is one of the poorest countries in the Americas, in large part because they have no ports. Studies show that this costs them 1.5% GDP growth every year today. It also shows how the British Empire looted even more resources in Latin America than the Spanish. They carried out the neo-colonial plunder. Thirdly, it shows why Bolivar's dream of a united Latin America never came to pass. This is...
There you go. And that is the same all over the world. What the British and the Americans are doing to this day. All over the world. And you saw what they did to Chile. They said, yeah, go fight the war for us. And they're like, oh, by the way, here's your bill for that. So it plunged Chile into debt as well and fucked Bolivia over. And the key point to understand there, right there, is all the profits that these people were making from these companies, these mining companies, all that, they were keeping it. It wasn't going back into Bolivia. So there was no money to spend on infrastructure and all this kind of stuff. And this is happening all over. It's even happening to us right here. It's happening in the States, happening everywhere. Okay, this is what people need to understand, how much the rich just fucking ransack everything and keep it all for themselves, and why we need better taxation. So I hope that was a nice educator for some of the people who keep wondering why third world countries stay third world.
Yeah, they've got the resources not to be, but yep, it's the Western world that's likes to rape them, literally rape them of everything.
Yep, just take everything away from them. Fucking pieces of shit. That's it. That was the last thing I had. Anyone else got anything?
And then they wonder why so many people from third world countries come to their part of the world. Well, you fucking taking all the opportunity away. So we're gonna fucking come over to your part of the world and find an opportunity there. So,
Exactly. Princess.
I want to attack one of the most interesting and a hard topic to cover, and it's belly buttons. In or outie? Ginger?
Oh, don't care. Either way, as
I was
long as it's not
asking
filled.
what you had, but
Oh, what I have? Oh my god, mine's so inny that you need a fucking helmet with a torch to get in it to find it.
me too. Zam?
Yeah, I'm inny.
Yes?
Inny.
What?
Inny.
Yeah, me
Inny.
too.
Inbred. Manchester.
What? That's it. That's all.
Oh my god, oh, Jesus Christ! How am I going to recover from such? I do want to say one thing though. I was wrong about Spider-Man 2 because I've been playing it on PlayStation 5. It's a bloody good game. I mean, the storyline I knew was going to be good anyway. But
The fast travel's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, the fast travel edition really helps. It's annoying that you have to do so much to unlock it, but it's really good. Like even some of the side missions are really clever. I haven't completed it yet, so obviously, I've avoided as much of the story as I could. But what a fucking great storyline! I would kill to see that in a film.
I do all the side missions before I go into the next story mission. This is what I do.
Yeah. I think I've only got. I don't know how many main missions I've got because I've done like 80% of the game already. So I've done all the side missions and everything. So I ain't got much left to do. I've leveled up my character and I'm probably going to complete it over the weekend.
I'm belly butting me mostly by the doctor who cuts the cord. I was thinking that if they're like yanking that cord, aren't they pulling your belly button out? Is that how it works now?
What's that?
TLD in the
they
comments.
just tie it up and it kind of just falls off and then it retreats into you.
I've noticed people who have belly button piercings, if they have an outer belly button, that outer bit is the bit that gets pierced, whilst if they don't have an outer belly button, then they just pierce the circumference of your belly button.
Yeah. I have to get a Q-tip into mine and wash it thoroughly because,
I just wash it when I'm in the shower.
I was going to say what I do like about the Spider-Man games is that it doesn't do microtransaction shit. Like everything, you can unlock everything by just playing the game. It's like what a weird concept.
Doing anything.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I got all of them.
Yeah, you can just do it by actually playing the game. It's weird. So it's like
a
weird concept.
The only thing different though is that in the first game, each suit had an ability, whilst in this game the suits are just skins.
Yeah, and also the swinging is abysmal in this game. In the first one, it was really good. In this one, it's really bad. It's really broken. It's not as responsive as it should be. And I've had issues again. There's some latency issues with dodging and all this because I've died way too much. In the first one, I think I died twice. Whereas this one, I've died way too much because the fucking the dodge is just not sinking in with when you press it and all this kind of shit. But those are my only gripes. I mean, I've made
okay.
In the game. And it's been good. I'll be doing Hogwarts Legacy after this one, so let's see how that one goes. But yeah, okay. I think that's it. We can end the show there.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Everyone that joined us. I will be back in the morning. Gaz, I'm hoping, will join me as well, and anyone else will join me for Elimination Chamber.
What time is it?
What's that?
9:30 a.m.
Oh, I'll
It's
be
10
wrestling.
o'clock. 9:30 is like the pre-show.
So it'll be like 4:30, 5 in the morning for you, Chris.
I might be up because I have to keep feeding the wood stove all night, so I might join you.
They're
join us.
watching wrestling
And anyway.
Yeah, we'll give you a link that you can watch the wrestling on your phone.
Yeah, cool. All right then. Good night, everybody.
All right,
I'll see you tomorrow.